Good day, YouTube, and welcome to the beer show that nobody watches but us. Right now you have myself, you have Lee from Hoogley's Beer Reviews, you have the Bylog, Mr. Gregory there, and yeah.
Bylog fame.
Anyway, tonight we have a bunch of different topics to go over. First and foremost, I guess we can get rid of the ones that are going to take the least amount of time first, as people are jumping around upstairs. Four Loko has a new flavor coming out, the pumpkin spice. I bring this up because everybody's doing pumpkin spice, but not Four Loko. So what do you think of like 12% alcohol, $1.95 can pumpkin spice?
I imagine it's going to taste amazing.
Oh yeah, I really look forward to throwing up fucking cinnamon and nutmeg in the morning. That just sounds like a really great thing to do.
I gotta say though, I've never tried any Four Loko product whatsoever, but if I was at the store I saw that, I'm a sucker for pumpkin. I'd buy a can just to try it.
It might be worth trying if you're going to share it with a friend or something, but I honestly, like, for what I've heard, the horror stories I've heard about Four Loko, there's no way I'd drink a whole can myself. Just
see, Four Loko, every different market basically has a slightly different recipe. I mean, Ontario, when we get it, it's 8% alcohol. Most of the states, it's 10 to 12. Apparently, the ones that we get here taste a lot better than the ones in the States, and there are a few I like here. The fruit punch reminds me of Tahiti Treat. The lemonade is actually fairly good. The peach is actually fairly good. The watermelon, not so much. But because I actually like those three, I don't think I'd ever buy the American versions with the horror stories I've heard of the American versions.
Yeah. American one's like $1 each or something, so they're like...
Yeah, I bought the grape one in the U.S., and it was actually pretty gross, and it was... a 40-ounce can, and it was like $3.95 for the can, and it was 12% alcohol.
Holy fuck, that's ridiculous, man. No,
and of course it was in a gas station cooler.
Jesus.
You're in college trying to get that girl's panties to drop. It does the trick.
Are they not energy drinks as well?
They used to be. They apparently took the taurine and everything else out of it after people started dying.
Yeah, because I know there was like a slight craze there for a while where you saw a couple of products here in Canada that were both /energy drinks /booze at the same time.
Yeah, we still have a few. We have the Rockstar ones, the Red Bull ones, and we have what is it? The High Octane.
Yeah, that's just fucking nuts, man. Like people go in the clubs and buying Red Bull and vodkas, so let's stay awake all night and get ourselves as shit-faced as possible. Like, not for me. Maybe it's just I'm a generation past it now or something like that, but I don't see the point. It's just, it can't be good for your health at all. Like,
you know, it's to a point where most bars won't mix them for you. They'll give them both to you, and it's up to you to mix it yourself. But
what?
Hands. Even if I'm giving you the Red Bull and the shot at the same time, I know what you're doing with it. Sooner or later, it's going to still become my responsibility.
Yeah, when someone goes out and crashes their car and the cops come back to the bar, then all of a sudden it's your responsibility. That bullshit.
Yeah, you got to be in sort of your late teens, early 20s. So you kind of have to be at that stage where you're just discovering alcohol. You're like, it's sweet. I can't handle booze. I can't handle hard booze or real beer, but I'll take this sweet drink.
Yeah. And I guess I'm not surprised, of course, because everyone's jumping on that pumpkin spice bandwagon now. It's like, I guess really what started it's probably the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. That's like the most famous kind of thing. And like Tim Hortons, they have their pumpkin spice fucking latte cappuccino or whatever the hell they're doing now, and everyone's jumping on that. It's very popular now. So
yeah, I'll admit I don't go to Starbucks as just a general rule. I don't like the company, but I tend to have one pumpkin spice latte a year.
Yeah, I don't care to spend like $8 on a cup of coffee.
Oh no, I get a small one, so it only costs like $7.
I could get it at Tim Hortons, but I don't want to get it. Plus, their new dark roast sucks anyway, so why would I buy anything else from them? I just get their regular coffee and that's it. Just caffeine injection.
So to continue with our pumpkin spice stories, this is another one that I sent to Lee, and my question here is this going too far for small breweries, or is this right? Clock Tower Brew Pub is taking pre-orders for their pumpkin ale. So it's the Clock Tower Brew Pub is an Ottawa brew pub chain. I believe they have another location somewhere outside of Ottawa, if I remember correctly. I talked to them once, and yeah. Anyway, so they're taking pre-orders. It will be available tomorrow for pickup in growlers and bottles, and then the next day, any growlers left will go on general sale, and whatever kegs are left will go on to tap sales. It also says Clock Tower Pumpkin is a 5% alcohol ale brewed with pumpkin and a selection of autumn spices. So your same spices as usual.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, whether I think there's anything wrong with it or not, you're going to see it all the time anyway. It's just the way the market's been. Like, they're taking advantage of the beer geek kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And not only that, they're actually taking advantage of the newbies too, because the idea of like a new person walking into a brewery, oh, we have a seasonal. I mean, you know, the people at the brewery, the first thing they're probably going to say is, oh, we have a new seasonal out if you're interested in trying that. I mean, every time I go to a brewery, like Sea Level or whatever, here's our latest seasonal. We have some of that. You want to try that? You know, they talk to me like I'm a dumbass who's never had beer before. And so, yeah, so the people are going to jump on that shit. And,
well, see, I don't have a problem walking in and getting told, here's a seasonal, you want to try it. I think it is these small breweries now that don't actually have a name for themselves, really, that are doing the same type of pre-order thing as Stone and all that. Like, it's just weird to me that you're a small brewery that doesn't have full exposure yet. You're a small brew pub at that in Ottawa. And instead of trying to get your beer out there to everybody that might want it, you're like, hey, let's pre-order and get it all sold right away so we don't have to worry about trying to sell it.
But I think in today's market, even people who are new to beer, they're probably looking at this stuff online, looking for opportunities and things like that to try something new and different. So it's still sort of taking advantage of that, what would have been a walk-in 5 years ago. Someone now online who's new to craft beers just might order it online just to try it. Like, and I mean,
and just because we're talking about pumpkin so much, this is what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, nice. I mean, in a way, I have a problem with it just because I just kind of hate the douchebaggery, fucking hipster portion of the craft brew scene. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to work for them. It's going to make them money, and it doesn't really affect me at all in any way, in shape, or form. So it's like I can't really complain about it without sounding like a douchebag.
It comes down, though, to are they going to make a good pumpkin beer or are they going to make a shitty pumpkin beer? If they make a good one, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, it says it's popular, but knowing how big they are, I don't know how popular it actually would be. I mean, they're about... well, you guys have been in Taps with me, the two of you, Nick and Lee. Their setup is a little smaller than Taps.
Ooh.
That was the one that had the brew houses like in the middle of the bar, right?
Yeah, where they didn't understand why they were having so much infection in their brews.
Yeah.
Front door, basically.
Of course, popular does not mean good. I mean, Propeller's pumpkin beer is extremely popular every year, and the last 2 or 3 years have been absolute shit. So, but it still sells.
Well, going on, to segue from a comment you made, I wasn't even going to bring this up tonight. This was going to be a topic for another night. But you were talking about the douchebaggery and all that. Stephen Beaumont, who is well known in the beer industry right now, big Canadian brewer, he actually had on his Facebook today whether or not people, well, he had put it on Twitter, and I guess he got a huge thing off of it. So he put it on Facebook thinking that all of his brewer and beer community friends were going to continue the argument, and for the most part they did. There was 75 comments. But he was asking if craft beer is going the way of pretentiousness, or if it isn't. And then he was giving examples. Is it, fancy glasses versus friggin' shaker glasses or mugs, food pairings, and he was going on all of his things. For me personally, I don't think it's really the beer itself that's becoming pretentious. It's people on both sides, brewers and people, like consumers. You're not going to see it with everybody, but the pretentiousness comes from I'm always right, you're wrong if you don't do it my way, from both sides of the equation.
Yeah, and I mean, in some cases, it's like, I mean, fancier glasses compared to shakers and stuff. I mean, there's actual hard evidence behind that you should at least have some sort of curvature in your glass if you want to capture a better aroma and taste and stuff. But I mean, when facts and stuff get lost in that sort of argument because everyone gets defensive and takes sides, and oh no, you're wrong, you're a snob, I'm a regular guy who likes to drink my beer and I don't like to be told what to do. And
well, see, the glass thing is a funny thing because, I mean, there is evidence, but a lot of it comes from the glass companies. I mean, there are people that have done blind taste tests where you don't touch the glass at all and you're blindfolded, and for the most part, they'll vote on the cheaper glass most of the time. And that was one of the arguments going back and forth. Was one guy loves his Riddell flutes for all of his beers, and the other guy's like, you know what, I like the look of the fancy glass, but after being in the industry for 30 years and doing 25 different blind taste tests, I can tell you I've voted on the other glasses 13 times. It's different. Yeah, it might be slightly better, but is it worth the extra price I'm paying for it? Because he was also an owner too, right? He's like, do I want to pay the $10 a glass when this $4 glass is almost the same?
Yeah, well, yeah, no one should be paying for a shout out to old man Murray there, but no one should be paying egregious prices for stupid stemware when they could buy it all at the fucking dollar store anyway, unless you're into collecting or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I personally subscribe to the idea that having some sort of slight curvature to your glass is a good thing. I mean, just take like a Glencairn glass for whiskey. I can attest to the fact that having that compared to even a snifter, and especially like a tumbler glass, is night and day. The aroma and the taste you can get out of it. But for beer, I don't think it's as extreme as people try to make it out to be. And those facts, they get lost in the actual argument, like hipsters versus people trying not to be hipsters or whatever. I mean, it's just a lot of arguing, and honestly, both sides are just pissing in the wind, really.
Yeah, it seems that a lot of it's a defensive struggle too, right? You don't want to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to be on the wrong group. So somebody says something, oh no, it can't be this, it has to be. Like temperature. We all know temperatures, the colder it is, truthfully, the less flavor you're going to get. But not everybody wants to drink something room temperature. I mean, this fucking beer, as I said, I just came back from the LCBO. It's completely room temperature. It was out on the floor. And I kind of wish I wasn't drinking it this warm.
Yeah.
But one of the, and I'm sorry to jump in here again while Nick and Greg are here. I'll just say one of the joys of drinking beer is to have it, slightly chilled and to let it warm up while you're drinking it, and actually, taste the change as it warms up a bit. I mean, yes. I mean, I'm not saying drink it ice cold, but have your beer cellar temperature, maybe slightly colder, and let it warm up as you're drinking it and get the changes. But when you go to the extreme of like having your beer like friggin' flat out warm, or having your beer so super cold that you can't taste anything, like, ridiculous. And I'm gonna stop now and let other people talk.
I was just gonna say, I guess two things now. In terms of the glassware thing, I don't care, whatever. I enjoy some more of a tulip kind of shape if I'm having a big beer, but at the end of the day, I don't care. If I only have a shaker because everything else is dirty, I'll drink it out of that. I think when it comes to restaurants, I think fancy glasses are just an excuse for them to screw you out of beer. Because most of these fancy glasses are all 12 ounces, so you're paying for a pint, you're not getting nearly the amount of beer you paid for.
That I'm laughing because that is a topic later.
Oh, spoilers. And in terms of room temperature, personally, I don't have my beer fridge set that cold, but I just pull it out of the fridge, even if it's an imperial stout. I pour it. I usually I drink it over half hour, 45 minutes, and it does change as it goes. So I don't leave it or anything. I want that beer now.
Well, and you know what? I am a firm. Another thing we talked about was how pretentiousness comes now from all these different rating systems and everything, where people will look it up online and only try beer that is rated super highly, or hoard beers that are rated super highly and all that. I'm a big supporter. You know what? When I do my rating, I'm telling you whether or not I would endorse a beer, but I'm telling you to try everything out there. Try it. You might like it. You might not. Glassware, drink out of whatever you like. I mean, I have personal favorite glasses that I drink out of. Not all of them are the proper fancy glasses, but they're what I like to drink out of. Temperature, drink it at what you like it at. You know what? Even if you're not going to get the full temperature at 7 degrees, if that's what you like to drink your beer at, just do it. Don't care about what other people are saying. Just do what you want to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, people should do what they want to do.
Makes sense.
The problem comes in when you get people saying, basically apologists for certain things. Like, they'll say, oh, this beer is meant to be drank ice cold, so you should drink it, otherwise you're not going to like it, you know, and that's the way you're supposed to drink it. Like, no, that's bullshit. That's a bad beer. I mean, if you absolutely
that's the way marketing has told you to drink it so that you can enjoy it. But I mean, if you want to buy Coors Light, and you don't want it to taste like a corn soda, drink it cold.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with people doing that, but I do have a problem with people buying into basically the corporate line and thinking that is the gospel of some sort as far as drinking beer. It's like, no, you're full of shit. You should probably settle the fuck down.
Or how about the
orange blue? It's not ready.
Tell people that, like, you know, beer can be drank warm, right? And they're like, why don't you drink that cold? Like, why do you let it warm up first? Like, because you get more of the flavors out of it when it warms up. And they're like flabbergasted by that.
Yeah. But that's so ingrained in the culture, though. It's like we've been so indoctrinated over the generations by pale lagers and stuff, which have dominated the last century. It sounds really weird to a lot of people, that the idea of drinking beer warm. I mean, their notion of drinking warmer beer is like, oh, that's what the British do. Those fucking Brits and their weird ass beer culture over there. We're Americans, damn it.
Hey, look, Berserker Radiant's showing up.
Yeah.
What's going on?
He doesn't have his sci-fi helmet on, though.
Oh, no. It's too tight.
Bird flag.
Well, here's something then. You know what? This wasn't going to be the next topic, but since he's here, I don't know if you've heard this yet or not there, Berserker Radiant, but Stone Brewing will be launching distributions in Alberta and BC as of next month. That's great for the rest of Canada because they might move into the rest of Canada at some point. But they are sending Stone IPA, the Go-To IPA, Rue Nation IPA, Cali Belgique IPA, their Smoked Porter, their Arrogant Bastard Ale, and they will be doing a rotation of seasonal ales.
All right. So I can put some Rogue and move it over and put in some Stone. I've never had it. You guys, what do you think of it? Is it pretty good or what?
Stone's a solid brewery. I mean,
Pretty
it's
good?
a solid brewery. Yeah.
Stone's awesome. The couple things I've had from Stone have all been basically world-class type of beers.
Smoked Porter. The Smoked Porter's okay. Their Chipotle Smoked Porter's a much better beer for me. But I mean, it's a good base Smoked Porter, and all they do is they just add different flavors to it whenever they do their flavored versions. I've never had the Go-To IPA or the Cali Belgique IPA, but I've had the other one.
I think the only Stone I've had is Oak Arrogant Bastard, and that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, the Arrogant Bastard.
I may have had Smoked Porter, I'm not sure.
I mean, Stone is very overhyped in a way, but at the same time, they still make really great beers pretty much across the board. So it's like you usually can't go wrong with Stone as far as I've seen.
Now, if we had Old Man Murray here, he'd be bitching about this, right?
Yeah, he would be, because he hates Greg Koch there and wants to beat him up. I assume they're going to have a fight at some point. They're going to throw down, but
It's gonna be a throwdown. Beer too.
yeah, no, we should promote that. We should have Old Man Murray versus Greg Cook there, and
I put my money on Greg. He's skinnier. He has bonier elbows.
yeah, he'd chop Murray right up.
Collect more damage.
So yeah, I'm actually excited about that though, because that means it's actually going to be in Canada already. It'll move across the provinces, and the greatest part about it being in Canada, even if it's only in Alberta and BC at the time, is you might start seeing. Well, you should start seeing it at Ontario and New Brunswick and other such things, beer festivals, because now that they have a distribution center in the country, they can ship it from province to province. They just can't sell it at those liquor stores yet.
Yeah, we'll see in the NSLC now in like 15 years from now. Awesome.
Well, what was it? Apparently, like one of the local beer guys, like there's a group, a secret group between me and Don and a bunch of the local beer guys here in the St. John area, and they're talking about making an order where through an NB Liquor where they bring in a bunch of beers from Ontario, and it's all stuff that Ontario can get. So apparently, an NB Liquor can order stuff, anything that LCBO can get, they can order in as long as you order it in cases.
Wow.
So if you get a bunch of like 12 people in on together and split up 12 pack cases, and then split the costs. So
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
sounds like a real good idea.
You know what's funny? As strange as a lot of the New Brunswick laws are, you guys are so much more open now than Ontario still is. I mean, we have a arguably better selection on a lot of things, but you guys are actually starting.
Making quite a bit of progress here, yeah.
If you read my my slightly misleading post about growlers in the LCBO, we're kind of getting there, kind of. Which would be
Aren't they like pre-filled or something?
Yes. Here's the next topic. Growler sales are in the LCBO for one brewery, and sort of. The headline is Growlers now for sale at the LCBO. What it is one brewery who doesn't have a bottling line or canning line have growlers that they've pre-filled, they've capped, they've shrink-wrapped, and they drop off at the local LCBO. This is up in like Kenora, Ontario, so a really tiny place. No fridge, so it's not refrigerated. It's sitting out on the shelves.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
This is growlers sitting out on the shelf from a brewery that is unpasteurized and unfiltered.
Oh,
And yeah, I'm
good
kinda,
luck. Good luck.
So all this
Expecting to
really
sell them
is.
all in 24 hours or something?
Pardon me?
Are they expecting to sell them all in 24 hours?
Oh no, he delivers twice a week.
Oh, well, that makes all the difference. Bullshit. I think that's gonna blow up in their faces.
So there's three things here. One, all it really is a new format, a new bottle format. What they're basically doing is allowing a 1.89 liter bottle instead of the 1 liters, which is usually the max now. I say usually because the Charles Wells used to be here in the 2-liter plastic bottles. Also, we're going to see, I think this is going to hurt this brewery quite a bit. I mean, we now know that the rule of drink it within 3 days doesn't really apply. As long as it's refrigerated, it can stay for a lot longer, especially if it's shrink wrapped to hold more air in. But being on a shelf, unrefrigerated, is going to make it go the way of Railway City's Original Brews or Mississauga Brewery. What's that one? That's the Port Credit. Their beers.
Old Credit.
Yeah, Old Credit. You're right. Yeah, like you're gonna start seeing people buy these for the $16, go home, and not be able to drink them.
What a ripoff. The only way that would work is if they...
because it's going to be bad or gone foul or gone off or flat by the time they get there.
Well, I'm not worried about the flatness, but it will turn. I mean, it's unpasteurized, it's unfiltered, and it's sitting on a shelf. And it's just draft beer sitting on a shelf.
The only way that has a chance of working is if the caps were, like sealed caps, like you have on like wine bottles and stuff like that. Maybe they'd last a bit longer.
He has, again, heat sealed them. So he takes the shrink wrap, puts it on, heats it
Okay.
on. So it'll hold the air in. So
Yeah.
like any good growler, it should last carbonated for weeks to months. I mean, what did Joe bring us? He brought us that growler from the States. It was 2 months old.
Yeah.
And it was
But-
fine, but it was kept in the fridge the whole time.
But unpasteurized, he's really taking a chance. So I mean,
I must
that
have had growlers because, I mean, in my experience, I've had growlers I bought one day to enjoy the next day, and they weren't flat, but they were noticeably less carbonated than if I drank them the day of.
Yeah, truthfully, with growlers, the big thing is also how you fill them. When you fill them, you need foam on the top. You need to cap them on pressure. You need to cap them on foam. If you don't, you're going to have almost a flat beer by the time you open them.
Are they filling them right out of like the secondary though? Like, are they forced?
I wouldn't assume so. I'd assume they're doing exactly what they do normally, which is filling them just
Out of a
off the
can.
top.
So if it's already carbonated, yeah, I see. Because there's a new system out the Pegas system. I went and checked out. They got one in Everything Wine here. It's supposed to be better, but I don't know. You know, if they're filling it the same way they'd fill a regular 350 mil, I don't know if it would matter. It's all purged with CO2. But if they're putting it out of a keg, then you lose that carbonation. It'll go flat. It'll be shitty. Right?
Yeah.
So it depends if they're going to just do this. If it's just a big bottle.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the headline is misleading because you're not filling the growler there. It's not really a growler sale. It's a 1.89 liter bottle of
unpasteurized beer. Yeah, that's what it is. So basically, Nick can attest to this. Basically, you're buying a big bottle of picaroons. Really, that's what you're doing. And as long as they don't put maple in it, you might be okay.
Well, the growler system they got set up here in New Brunswick is that right now it's just in 3 pilot stores, and it's literally draft beer, and they'll fill and do the growler fill right in front of you when you get there. It's not like stuff kept on a shelf. It's right out of the keg.
Well, that would be more progressive for us if these 2 LCBOs were selling it, and
yeah, like MB's doing it the way they're supposed to be doing it.
I hate my internet. I just hate my internet.
I think Ontario will eventually catch up to that idea, though. I mean, they're just testing the waters right now with this shit. So,
but I mean, the real test for this would be if the LCBO bought a keg from them, refrigerated the keg, like got a kegerator, and filled the growlers when people wanted them.
Yeah,
that would be the real test.
I think they'll find it more lucrative in the end too. People will probably flock to that much more than this idea. Can I go some comments here real quick?
You certainly can, good sir.
Okay, the Duchette's on here. He says, hashtag proper glassware for life. Scott Price says, I'll leave that for the end here. Jason Spears is on. He says, hey, all, having a Propeller London Porter tonight. Again, doing some beer work tonight, so I'll be in and out. Scott Price has 2 questions here. First one is, what is your favorite beer to just sit back and drink while watching the game, be it hockey, baseball, football, basketball, etc.? And he says, what are the best beer styles to pair with smoked cheddar or stout cheddar?
Stout or some sort, probably.
Smoked cheddar, eh?
I'm thinking like a stout might work. Well, I'm not really a food pairing guy, but
For cheese, I'm thinking more like a Belgian, like a triple or something along those lines. Usually those go well with cheese because they're more wine-like.
You're looking at a nice smoked cheese. It's going to be more whiskey. Like that would be more like a whiskey pairing. So you'd be looking at like a either like Nick said, like a nice stout, a wee heavy. Maybe a Roche beer on its own. Add smoke with smoke.
Roche beer would work. Yeah, Roche beer would be good. I mean that's designed really for like German food, like cheese and sausage and shit like that.
I mean, if you're matching up with something salty, like smoky and salty, you're probably going to go for something a little malty sweet. And maybe
you could go like a Belgian double or a quadruple too.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Or dark or some Belgian dark or some sort, like Chimay or.
Anyone else want
I just drink my beer without food.
to?
I like the food pairing.
I might have a bag of chips. That's about it.
And the other one, what's your favorite beer to just drink while watching like sports of any sort?
Varies. Depends on what floats the boat right now. Maybe I want to try a 6-pack of a certain IPA. I buy that. Maybe next week it'll be like a red ale. Whatever I've got left. Like there's beers that I'm going back to.
When I have the surplus of them, and I start stocking up as soon as I see them at my LCBO, and they just showed up today. When I have a stockpile of them, Pumpkin. If I don't have a stockpile of the Pumpkin, Innocent Gun Original. Especially now that I can get it in the cans, cheaper than the bottles basically, and they just have so much more flavor. And I'll just sit back and I'll drink like 4 or 5 of those while I'm watching the game.
Yeah, like I don't watch hockey, baseball, basketball, or anything.
Think about it like you're hanging out with the guys and watching a movie.
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing that, it would be something darker. It would be probably like a porter or a stout or something along those lines. Because I'm not the sort of person who's like drink a bunch of lagers while watching baseball or whatever, which is sort of like the traditional idea or whatever. But yeah,
I like the idea if you're. Again, I don't watch any sports whatsoever, but if I'm watching a movie or if I want to play video games or something, I like something strong, like an Imperial Stout or a double IPA or something, because of the fact that I don't feel like getting up, so I want that one to last me a while.
That's a good point.
Probably maybe like a British bitter or something would work too.
Bitters would work because if you had a bunch of them in front of you, you could session them right in front of that, and you didn't have to get up.
You know what could really work if you don't want to go, and just his British bitter comment actually made me think of it. There's not many of them that are very well made right now. A nice mild, an English mild.
Yeah. God, I wish there were more of those.
You could sit back and just drink them all night.
Yep.
Just need a pot in front of you in case you have to pee.
Or a piss jug or something like that.
You get your sink.
You guys ever see Yukon Brewery stuff out there? Whitehorse?
Hey, Ron.
No.
Nope.
I've heard of it, but I don't
They make a badass ESB.
Do they?
Nice.
Yeah, no, I really do wish there was more English milds out there. I mean, I can get I've been able to get 4. I know that I know Bellwoods makes one every once in a while to stay classy. Never tried that one yet though.
Well, you will eventually.
Yeah, eventually. G'day, Ron.
Personally, I don't think.
Oh, Chad. Hello, folks.
Yo, what up?
Yo, well, let's see. Who do we have here? Oh, okay. Good. Sorry I'm late. I was with my other group.
Yeah,
What were you examining tonight?
We were examining Samuel Adams' Oktoberfest.
Nice. I would have
In
watched
1989.
that if I had been home.
Huh?
I said I probably would watch that if I had been home. We were doing groceries, and then I got right on here.
Yeah, Samuel Adams' Oktoberfest introduced in 1989. We always start at 7:30 Eastern time.
I saw that on.
It runs about 30 minutes. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of it?
Well, about 4 of us loved it, and the other 3 said it was okay, but they weren't too thrilled with it. And I said, well, then in that case, we'll never talk to you again. Because when you disagree on beer, you have to become enemies, as we all know.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed it.
I haven't had that one for a few years, but that was one of those beers that sort of bridged me into craft beer.
It seems to change a little bit every year. Like, it seems every year it's slightly different. It's a good bridge beer. You're right.
I've got one that an old 2011 bottle and a 2012 bottle of Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I just wound up staying in the fridge.
They're that old?
I like the beer.
When you get a chance, I want to ask you on the beer, see if you've ever had it.
Huh?
I had a beer 2 days ago called Kerala.
Welsh beer.
No. Kerala Helles Lager beer.
Oh, Helles
Oh.
Lager beer. No, I haven't had that one.
Was that smoked as well? That smoked malt?
No.
No? Okay.
What they do is they take a regular lager beer and they brew it in the kettles that they brew the smoked beer in, the Rauch beer, and then they age it in the aging tanks that they age the Rauch beer in, and it picks up some of the smoke. But I thought it picked up quite a bit of the smoke. But it was really a dynamite, an interesting number that they did with that beer, and I'd never seen it before until I bought it. So it was quite the thing to try out. I've had the other Oxford Kerala, 3 of them, the really strong one, the 8%. I had that one and 2 of the others.
I'm just checking if I've had it yet or not. I think I have, but I'm not 100%
It tastes like smoked pork. If you ever want to drink a beer that tastes like smoked pork, get the Oxford Kerala Rauch beers.
It's awesome. I love it.
I've had the Marzen from Kerala Roche beer, but that's the only one I've had from them.
Yeah, I've had the regular smoked beer, and it's awesome. Just the regular Rauch beer, it's great. I love it.
But you've had the Marzen, Nick?
Yeah, I had that a couple of years ago. I really liked it. Jesse did. My buddy Jesse.
But you never had that. You never had their big dynamic 8% Doppelbock version, huh?
No.
I've had the Doppelbock. I've had the Doppelbock and the Marzen. I think I've had the Hells, but I'm just checking.
Yeah, I don't know how long their lager beer has been out, but that's 4 of them that I've had. The beer from England that really confuses me. Oh, there he goes. The ones from England that really confuse me are those St. Peter's beers in the little medicine bottle.
Yeah. So weird
beer bottles. I don't know what to make of those.
St. Peter's beers.
Yeah. You know what? For the St. Peter's beers, the sad thing is the gluten-free was my favorite of them all.
Ah.
I had the winter beer and I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I had the cream stout and I had a bunch of them, about 5 or 6. They sell them around here, quite common.
Okay, no, I haven't.
They all taste strange to me, though. There's something strange about those beers. I'm late on this discussion. Chad, you said you had a bunch of topics tonight. I feel like I'm out of place.
Oh no, we were talking about pumpkin spice beers from the beginning. All the different, just a bunch of different news, and then Stone's bringing distribution to Alberta and BC, and a few other things.
Excellent. What about Shipyard Pumpkinhead? What do you think about that?
Oh, Shipyard is not my thing. I don't know if I just have had too many Shipyard beers that I didn't like, that I just can't get into them, but I just can't get into them. There's 2 or 3 of them that I enjoy, but everything else I've had by them I don't want. But then we're also paying a much higher price up here for it too, right?
Yeah, they're cheap. They're relatively cheap here. I thought the Pumpkinhead tasted like, it smelled like Cost Plus World Market. I don't know if they have those stores in Canada, Cost Plus World Market, but it's one of these stores that sells a lot of potpourri and those cinnamon brooms.
No. Luckily we don't.
I have a lot of issues with Shipyard as well, but they're hard to figure out. They're hard to figure out. That Pugsley's 4X.
The Pugsley Signature.
Yeah, what have I had from Shipyard? They have an English ale and a Fuggles IPA. The Fuggles I like a lot.
I thought the one they did from England, that contract brew, what is it, Ringwood? It's made in England, but it's got the wolf, I think, on it. It's got like a picture of a wolf, and what is it called? Ringwood? I don't know. It's made by Shipyard, but it comes from England.
Yeah, no idea.
The dynamite beer. I could find out. I have it in a book, but I thought they did a great job with that.
Yeah, I didn't mind their mint chocolate stout. It actually was what it advertised. It was a mint chocolate stout. I mean, I couldn't get angry at it. It tasted like what it said it was going to taste like.
Chocolate. And they also produce Sea Dog beers, right?
I believe they do.
They have a lot of little subsidiary beer lines that are like fake beer companies.
Yeah, you're seeing that more and more. Amsterdam, for instance, they make the Kawartha Lakes Brewing Company stuff.
Yeah. Well, they bought Kawartha Lakes and then just used their name now, right? Yeah.
So they figured a lot of craft beer companies figured they'll do like the macro companies, just make like phantom lines of beer, right?
Well, yeah, they'll buy up. In some cases, like they'll buy up a brand that was popular in a region.
Yeah, like the Brick.
Yeah, and then they'll keep the name and they'll keep selling it.
Brick bought Formosa Brewing, Formosa Springs, and kept it as Formosa Springs. They bought what the hell, the Waterloo. Waterloo was bought.
Waterloo, yeah.
So Waterloo became their actual like crafty line, where they actually tried to make it more craft beer oriented, and everything else was budget beers. But they do. The Brick is Red Baron, Red Cap, Formosa, Laker, Waterloo. So they have 5 brands right there, and then they do contract brewing out of the building too.
Oh yeah, Minhas does that too up in Wisconsin. They make trash beers and they also make craft beers. I think they make more money off the trash beer though. But it's called Old Thumper. That beer that comes from England. It's made by a shipyard under contract in America. It's called Old Thumper.
I'll have to see if I can get it.
I think Amsterdam, in the last year or so, they've axed their almost entire KLB line. They only have the raspberry left. All the other ones are gone.
Well, the raspberry wheat's the one that did everything for them out of that line. I mean, they bought the company just for the raspberry wheat recipe.
That's the only one. That's the only one I've ever seen from them.
Yeah, I tried them all about 2 years ago. I got a sampler at the brewery. I'm not even sure if you get them at the LCBO, and really, other than the raspberry, none of them were.
The pale ale was the nut brown was okay because then you can't really do a bad nut brown.
Kind of redundant when one of their flagship beers is a nut brown as well, though.
Yeah, very true. The cream ale again, you can't really hurt a cream ale.
If you screw that up, you're doing something really wrong.
I'm a big fan of the KLB raspberry, though. It's one of my favorite summer beers.
And no one's had Old Thumper?
No.
Is it lager you think?
They make one called Double Thumper too, which is about 11% alcohol. I've seen that.
Now you kept saying Ringwood. Is that do they use the Ringwood yeast strain in it?
No. The thing about it, it's a company in England called Ringwood Brewery.
Oh.
And what they did was they make a contract with Shipyard to produce the Old Thumper beer in America, according to the recipe. And then there's one called Double Thumper, which is really strong. But it's made by Shipyard. You know, it's got that foil cap, but then if you turn it, it's a screw cap. It'll come right off.
How you doing, Dale?
Not bad, yourselves?
Good.
Hello, Dale.
Hey, Jay.
I love to watch your videos, by the way.
Thank you.
I watched one this morning and you had no shirt on.
That's the review of 1050.
Oh.
That would blow your shirt right off, that kind of beer, yeah.
That it did. I know you guys don't like my squeaky chair, so I just went and got a kitchen one.
Now here's something that Aaron brought up just on the Facebook post there. I didn't actually even think about it. This pumpkin is this year's pumpkin. It's brand new. The bottling dates say that they're very fresh, but it's still the old labels. It's not what Southern Tier's using now.
Oh yeah. So they basically we have a bunch of labels left over. Let's send
I don't
that
even
shit
know
to
if
Canada.
I'm gonna have to look through the. Gonna have to look at get a really good close-up look of the American labels. Maybe they wouldn't pass in the LCBO.
They've got both labels out around here.
Oh, do they?
So they
He's probably right then. They probably just had a bunch of extra ones.
Yeah, let's use them. We got a whole warehouse full of label boys. Let's get rid of them.
Anheuser-Busch does the same thing. they will use old caps on new labels on the bottle.
So I wonder, Jay, how many labels of Budweiser American Ale they have left over that eventually they'll stick on like Black Crown or something like that and send it out.
The great
I'll tell you what, I'd like to. I wish I would have bought that American ale the last time I had a chance, because it was gone, you know.
I was going to say, Great Lakes this year kind of did the same thing where they released their new labeled pumpkin ale in the LCBO, but if you go to the brewery, it's still the old one. I guess they're trying to use up all the old bottles they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, why waste? Hey, I tell you what, Shipyard is so unpopular down here. They've got Shipyard galore at the grocery store where I work, and they've got a bunch of it left over from last year. They can't give that stuff away.
Wow.
People hate that stuff. I mean pumpkin. What am I saying? Pumpkin. People hate pumpkin down here.
Wow, really?
I don't know why I said Shipyard. I had that in my head. Pumpkin is so unpopular. They couldn't get rid of last year's pumpkin, and they can't get rid of this year's pumpkin.
They can send it all my way if they want. Holy fuck.
$7.99 a bottle.
$7.99? It's like $9.50 here, and it still sells out within days of going on the shelves.
$7.99 here, and they can't, and it sits on the shelf forever.
Didn't they lower the price this year of pumpkin though? I thought I saw that it's listed for $7-something this year. The LCBO.
I have the list upstairs. I thought it was. Oh, the pumpkin might be. I might be thinking the Warlock that's supposed to be coming is $9.50. $7.95 might be it then.
Warlock. I've never had that Warlock.
Warlock. I haven't opened this pumpkin yet, but I'm worried because Warlock last year was amazing. It was a beautiful stout with huge flavors. And then I got a bottle of it from Joe. He brought a bottle up for me because I loved it so much. And I opened it up and drank it. And the Warlock this year tasted like the pumpkin of like 3 years ago. So I'm worried about drinking this pumpkin.
The best pumpkin beer I ever had was from Wasatch Brewing.
The worst one I ever had was probably the Southampton one that Joe brought me up.
Yeah,
and
I
after
like it.
What the hell's that?
Hey, we're being attacked by chimes.
Xylophone or whatever.
That's that Google Plus chime.
Yeah.
Call somebody. Hey, Chad, I thought that Southampton pumpkin beer was quite good.
I don't know. I always find that there's two big genres in pumpkin beer, and I really think that they should be split into two genres, since we make up subgenres for everything else, which is the pumpkin spice and the sweet pumpkin, like the pumpkin pie type stuff. And for me, I go more towards the sweeter pumpkin stuff. I want it to taste like pumpkin pie in a glass. I don't care for the clove bombs and all that. And the Southampton one just had so much clove and nutmeg and stuff in it that I didn't care for it.
Too spicy.
Yeah, the stuff that's like really spice heavy, it's like I don't even know if you can really call that a pumpkin beer. It's more like it should be like a fall spice beer or something like that. Like instead of calling a true on pumpkin beer, because for me a pumpkin beer should have actual pumpkin in it.
And that's why I like the Buffalo Bill pumpkin beer, the original one, because it's so low profile. It just tastes like pumpkin, which some people hate because it just tastes like some vegetable matter. You know, it has a true pumpkin pulp flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with people putting like pumpkin pie spices in their beer, but if that's all you're doing, if you're not using real pumpkins and you're not trying to get some of the earthy vegetable,
screw that,
pumpkin flavor, then you're really cheating out the customers. Because take like Gahan's pumpkin beer where there's
I was
no
going to
pumpkin.
say take the pumpkin beer from your area of the country that had no pumpkin in it.
What?
Yeah.
What is it?
There's a Gahan pumpkin beer in Prince Edward Island where, like, I'll say this, I don't know if it's 100% true, but what they say is, because you basically can't get any information on what they actually put in the beer, but from what I hear, they put no pumpkin in the beer, and when you taste the beer, it sort of confirms those suspicions because it's all just spice and watery.
Well, didn't they have the
beer.
ingredients list on that bottle?
I never saw the ingredients list for it. I don't recall.
But I was drunk by that time of the night, but I thought you guys read an ingredients list.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember most of that
terrible.
day.
And Charlottetown is where they had the meeting to make Canada.
Yep. Confederation, yes.
Federation, 1864. The meeting was in 64. I know the Confederation was in 67.
Yes.
What about one that's selling really well here? I think is the Brooklyn Post Road pumpkin.
I've had it once. I have to give it another shot because when I had it, I wasn't. $95 a bottle, so I'll buy a bottle. For $1.95, I'm willing to give it a second try.
Yeah, I tried that one last year and the year before. I liked it in 2012, but didn't like last year's one so much.
I don't really like pumpkin beer in general, to tell you the truth. I'd rather eat pumpkin pie and drink beer. But, I mean, if people want to put pumpkin in beer, that's fine. But I'm not really a person that ever says to myself, man, I want to drink a pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
I never said.
Yeah, Lee only wants to drink mint beers. Lee only likes mint beers.
Hey, you know it, brother.
Lee only what?
I only like the mint beers. That's the only beers I go for, the ones that taste like mint. Just full on.
Are you sure? Not the Clamato?
Oh, well, I do that too, Dale. Come on now.
Hey, wait a minute now.
You know how I run.
I made a lot of Clamato beer videos over here. We enjoyed the Modelo Especial Clamato.
We've never had the pleasure of that. The most we get is like the Budweiser Clamato crap.
You ought to see how many different Budweiser cheladas we get here. We get the Modelo Especial chelada, which is Anheuser-Busch, right? We get Budweiser Clamato chelada. We get Budweiser Clamato chelada Picante. That's the spicy one. We get Bud Light Clamato chelada, and we get Bud Light Clamato chelada extra lime flavor.
Oh,
wow!
but rest assured,
now I got to try them all.
It's made with natural lime. Hey, but wait a minute. It's made with natural lime flavor, so.
Oh, well, then that must be as good as friggin' Budweiser Bud Light Lime.
Okay, who here knows anatomy? Who knows what other animals have castor sacs other than beavers?
Skunks?
Skunks have it? So maybe lime flavor comes from a skunk?
Could be.
I want to know I want to make a list of the animals I can make fun of when I read natural flavor. Because really, it's always beaver anus I talk about, because it's the only one I know for sure that had a castor sac. And I know that's where they get their berry flavors from, is the beaver.
That's really disturbing.
A little taste of Canada.
You can't start if you have strawberry flavored syrup in your milkshake or your milk or something like. You buy the strawberry milk mix or whatever, it's going to be castor flavored.
Yeah, and even more so raspberry. Almost everything that's flavored raspberry is castor sac flavoring.
I'm going to go here.
From a beaver?
Yep, comes from the beaver's castor sac. So every time you have raspberry natural flavoring, you're tasting a little bit of Canada. Just a little bit.
Well, we get so much. Hey, we get so much stuff over here from Canada. It's incredible. I mean, when that truck comes in the morning at 6 o'clock or 5:45, we get so many things that say "product of Canada."
What do you get?
Yeah, we're like that. We export our beaver everywhere.
You must, because we get all sorts of meat products, all sorts of jars of jellies and jams. I I mean, it's just beyond belief. It's like, and then the meat. Now, the interesting thing about the Canadian meat, it comes in a box, a big cardboard box, and it says Canada, and it has a crown on it. A crown, like a king wears a crown, and then it has a circle around it. Looks like it would be on an aircraft, a fighter plane from World War II's tail, and it says Canada. So it's a crown, and it says Canada. It looks really old-timey, like the 1920s.
Canadian Food Inspection Agency or something. It's on a
Yeah.
lot of
There is, I mean, being a Commonwealth country, there is, even though we're not as closely connected to England anymore as we used to be, there is a lot of basically traditional influence of symbolism and things like that have to do with like crowns and Commonwealth and royalty and things like that. So you'll see that in a lot of Canadian companies, traditional and even new ones to some degree. So
I've noticed that.
We have the same.
I tell other Americans about it. They don't know what I'm talking about.
well, I think it's about time we fucking take America back from Great Britain.
America.
If you're going to be ignorant like that.
Oh, believe me, the ignorance is profound. It's profound. If you knew what Americans didn't know about Canada, you would be appalled.
Well, if you knew what most Canadians don't know about Canada, you'd probably be appalled at this point too.
I mean, I used to teach geography, and I mean, the things that students would tell me, I just couldn't believe it. One girl said, "I thought Canada was a state." I said, "No,
Maple Leaf
not."
State.
Oh, but it was really interesting teaching about Canada, and that was one of the countries that I was most fascinated with. And I'm not saying that just because I'm talking to y'all and trying to butter you up.
Oh yeah, we know. Come on now, Jay, we know.
No, if I despised Canada, I wouldn't bring up the subject. But I really was fascinated by it. And I was not particularly fascinated by Mexico, on the other hand, and that's right south of me. But Canada was just fascinating. I read so many books about Canada.
Well, talking about Canada, our next topic has to do with Shock Top. Now, whether you like Shock Top or not doesn't matter. And I did a blind taste test and still picked the Blue Moon, so I know that I wasn't just biased. But there was a Ben's beer blog is one of the biggest beer blogs in the Toronto area. Somebody forwarded him
What?
Oh, it's freezing.
I froze up. So somebody forwarded him 2015's edition of Labatt's marketing proposal, and part of it had to do with Shock Top. So first and foremost, I'm going to read you something quick. I'm going to read you this, and then I'm going to go on to the rest of it. This is why I should have gotten a job in marketing, because you can make a lot of money to just put bullshit together. Anyway, this was an excerpt from the marketing paperwork. Flavorsome taste to drive Shock Top penetration with experience maximization in the reward myself need state. What the fuck does that even mean? Who fucking knows? But anyway, the gist of this is that Labatt did some research. 75% of people in Canada thought that Shock Top was a craft brewery. So what Labatt's going to do is spend $2.7 million next year to make people believe that Shock Top's a craft brewery. Again, it doesn't matter who makes it as long as it's good beer, who cares? But this is kind of actually agitating. And yeah, so in all honesty, Labatt is spending more money next year to make you believe that this is a craft brew than most craft brews will ever spend on marketing. And if you had $2.7 million to spend on marketing, spend that $2.7 million on actually developing a beer that the craft beer industry will like anyway. Why trick people when you don't have to?
I disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
It's not the problem of Anheuser-Busch InBev that they want to spend a lot of money to make people think Shock Top is a craft beer. The problem is that people are ignorant and they're lazy, because All they have to do is get on the internet and look it up, and it very clearly states that Shock Top is owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev. So all they're doing is marketing their beer toward ignorant, lazy people who won't look it up. And they'll sit there and drink Shock Top and say, ooh, I love craft beer. So tough. Too bad. We cannot, there is no way we can compensate for the ignorance of the consumer.
What exactly type of beer is Shock Top?
Shock
Wheat
Top
beer.
is Belgian wheat styles.
Yeah, Belgium.
The
It's basically
knockoff of new
Not even as
of
good
Blue
as
Moon.
like Rickard's White, which is also a crap.
It's the it's Anheuser-Busch's version of Blue Moon.
yeah, exactly.
You know how easy it is to look up stuff on the internet? Quite easy.
Yeah, but and the thing is, you know how many people I encounter on the internet who don't have the ability to actually look up stuff on the internet because they're just that dumb.
Lots of people. Lots
Yeah.
of people. And you're
Well, see,
not,
I understand exactly what Ronald's saying, but at the same time, this is actually their marketing proposal, and they're spending $2.7 million to make sure that people don't go and look. That's the thing that's funny. Like their whole plan, he actually breaks down their whole plan, and it's actually mind-boggling that they would just not accept it. Hey, this is what we are. This is what we make. Like it or don't like it.
they know what they are.
Yeah, I think they picked an interesting hill to die on. As far as I'm concerned, I think at this point that sort of thing being leaked to the public, even though there are a huge amount of ignorant people who will not look stuff up, I think there's enough people now who are savvy to craft beer and things of that nature that they'll see this, and I think it's kind of blow up in their faces a bit.
Why did they?
They probably leaked it themselves. They probably leaked it. As a preempt. As a
It got sent to him by one of his friends. He had to remove his friend's name from all the paperwork that he showed. He wasn't supposed to have it.
They probably paid him to send it to him.
Why don't they brew an amber? Why would they try to do a Belgian wheat beer?
They do brew an amber. It's
Do they?
not amber.
Oh, because I think that has to be the first thing you think to do is something like that. Like I wouldn't try and put Belgian beer to the masses. That's a good idea.
Shock Top makes a ton of money. I mean, that stuff is so popular around here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Belgian wheat beer, that is actually a very safe style to brew if you want to be crafty. Honestly, I mean, because that's
In all
something
honesty, like Lee's going on with Belgian wheat beers, Belgian white beers, all that sort of stuff. Anyone can make a good one.
Yeah,
and you can like it or you can't like it.
and it's a very safe beer to brew because that's something that will appeal to a mass audience, both men and women. I mean, I don't want to be sexist here, but women generally don't like regular beer as a rule, and they'll be more open to flavors that are more citrus infused and sweeter.
I mean, how many Canadians like Rickard's White that are on this panel? I do.
I like it. Okay.
I don't
I'm
know.
not a fan of wheat beers in general, but look, I have a daughter. She's 21 years old. She will drink the fool out of Shock Top and stuff like that. I laugh at it. I scoff at it. I have great contempt for it. But she will drink it and say, oh, man, it's so good. And she could care less who makes it. You know what I mean? She doesn't care.
Hoegaarden. I love Hoegaarden. Hoegaarden's an AB InBev company.
Right. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. Shock Top's good. The Shock Top chocolate beer, that's one of the best chocolate beers I've ever had, I have to be honest.
Well, I'll say for Hoegaarden, though, it's one of those ones that AB InBev hasn't really screwed with. I mean,
Well, they did a little bit, and then the workers went on strike, and
yeah, but I mean, I've had that. Like, that was something I bought at the very beginning of my sort of craft beer education, and the taste and flavor and everything hasn't changed over the years since I first bought it. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, most Belgian beers that are owned by the big guys, be it Molson, Heineken, InBev, whoever it is, Saab, whoever owns the Belgian companies, for the most part, they leave them alone because the Belgians would not accept their beer getting screwed around with.
yeah,
Yeah, look at the left. Look at the
Well,
left.
I was going to bring up Lef. I enjoy Lef.
Of course,
Yeah,
they're putting their InBev touch on it. Now they got left. You seen all these new left flavors coming out?
No, I never
I
seen it.
haven't. I
Oh
only.
yeah, I saw that today on Facebook. They've got left raspberry, left.
Ooh.
I said, oh well, they're destroying this now.
Yeah, because like I like the original left. Like we don't get it anymore. I wish we still did because I loved it. The left blonde or whatever, and
The
then
brown is good. The red is
Yeah.
good.
we had what was the brown? It was the left brown we bought there, Nick, wasn't it? When we were
Yeah,
on our
you guys
trip?
bought a sixer of the brown.
Yeah,
That
but
was
New
excellent.
York City. I only ever saw it in New York City. Awesome beer.
The only left I see here is the brown and the white, the blonde, I guess it is. Those
Yeah.
ones I see here occasionally. And oh yeah, hey Lee, they do sell Propeller beers here.
Oh, do they? Right on.
Yeah.
What all do you get there, Dale?
We get the Propeller IPA,
Uh-huh.
and there's a they substitute, like it's maybe a seasonal, different Propeller will come in every 6 months or something like that.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's just the IPA Propeller. And Pump House, it's just that blueberry beer.
Yeah, blueberry ale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember-
Dale, where do you live?
I live in Ontario, Canada. I'm just north of Chad.
Oh, up in the little area close to New York State.
I'm closer to Messina.
Messina. That's close. How far is that from Hamilton?
Oh.
You know where
Yeah.
Ottawa is, Jay?
Huh?
You know where Ottawa is, right?
Of course, I've been there.
Yeah.
I slept there.
Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes from there.
Oh, Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look at a map.
At the end of the day, InBev they're not in the market of making good beer. They're in the market of making money, and it's something they're pretty successful at. So I think at some point somebody probably figured, just like you were saying earlier, you put the $2.5 million into making a better beer, $2.5 million to marketing. I'd be willing to wager that they're going to get that whatever money back for marketing. Whereas the beer, it's a risk for them, and companies like that don't want to take a risk.
I think the problem is like they're not gonna. I mean, even if they lose a bit of money on it, it's not going to be that much of a sting to them that it's going to dissuade them from doing it again. That's the problem with companies that big with that much money, is that they take a risk and it's not really a risk for them, and they'll do it. They might get a backlash, and it's probably not going to hurt them all that much in the long run. So it's kind of sad that way, because you look at their mentality, and their mentality is absolutely disgusting. Their mentality is counterproductive, but in the business world, that mentality is status quo. I mean, that's the way they think. They don't think about reality. They think about numbers. They think about what will sell best for them. They think about, oh, people are into this, people are into that. No, they're really not, but a lot of people will buy into what they think people are into. So, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy for them.
Yeah, but I know people that think Bud Light is the best beer on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
They will have a fight with you if you criticize Bud Light. And
Oh,
in
yeah,
their mind,
believe me, I know that.
they love it. I mean, they don't just drink it because it's there. They adore it.
Oh, yeah, for a lot of people, beer is a religion for them. Whether it's a big national brand or if it's a regional brand, beer is a religion for them.
And they would look at this video that we're making and they would laugh and say, look at these jackasses talking about this and that specialty beer. Why don't they drink something good like Bud Light? And they would they would believe what they were saying. They wouldn't be saying it to be an ass. They would think, yeah, why don't they drink something good like Bud Light? Damn, what's their problem?
Yeah, they legitimately believe that. Why are you drinking this weird craft beer? Why don't you drink a real man's beer? Why don't you drink a working man's beer? A real beer for real people.
Something that tastes like beer, not citrus or whatever.
Yeah. What are you? You goddamn Frenchman? You Frenchman? You from France? You drinking your Frenchy beer? Get out of my country. You drinking your French beer.
Yeah, when I go to work, people look at me like I would say, why don't we drink some old Rasputin? They would say, they just shake their heads like, there he goes again.
You communist, Jay? You communist? You gonna drink some common beer?
They might think that.
You know, your accents are the worst out there.
It's awesome.
He makes good accents. You know, they're not correct, but they're good. Hey, now, Dale, what? I like Lee's accents because they're genuine. You know, in his attempt, they're not put on. Dale, what town you said?
I'm in Rockland.
Rockland.
Yeah. East of Ottawa.
A little bit past Ottawa.
Oh yeah, along the river.
Yep.
Uh-huh. I did not go to that town because I drove on this Highway 417 when
There's
we
no
left
embassy in that
Ottawa.
town.
When we left Ottawa, we went on this Trans-Canada Highway 417, and we went to like Rigaud. We went into Quebec, and we went over to Quebec City. So we went directly from Ottawa over there, you know. But we weren't far from you.
Yeah, No, you went around me. I was just in Quebec City a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we went from Prescott north to Ottawa along this Highway 416.
Yeah. My township is Prescott Russell.
Yeah, we passed through that township, but around Castleman.
Yeah.
And
Oh, nobody wants to go to Castleman.
Hey.
Nobody. You're still in Ontario. You're still in Ontario, but they all speak French.
Yeah, those
It's actually funny. The more east you go, the more French it is. Like Orleans is French. Cumberland is
No,
English.
when we were going to Beauce, we stopped at a truck stop. I believe it was right in Castleman.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and everything on the menus even was in French. And I'm like, I'm still in Ontario. What the hell?
yeah, like what about this town in Ontario called Grandvilliers-sur-la-Rouge? Think that's French?
Might be.
Grandvilliers-sur-la-Rouge. Well, my last name is Thériault, so anytime I hear Ontario, it makes me think of me.
You must be like Acadian descent then, eh?
Correct. We came from Acadia. Acadie.
That's why you came up here then, right? For a visit?
No, not necessarily. We just wanted to see Canada. But
Jay's like, no, screw those people. We just come up here because.
yeah, my family was in Acadie, and they there was a war that broke out, and the British said, well, you could stay here, but you have to take a pledge to King George II. And if you don't take a pledge to honor King George II, then get the hell out. So the Thériault said, well, I guess we'll get the hell out. So they were expelled, and they left along with the Richards and the Leblanc and the Héberts. And
Your descendants left before the Grand Arrangement, right?
this was 1755.
Yeah, well, I can see that mentality because the Acadians themselves were not jiving with what's going on in France, so we're going to immigrate to the New World, and then they get to the New World and it's like, hey, either you like the British or get the hell out of here.
See, it was sort of like they didn't fit in France, and they didn't fit in Acadie or Nova Scotia, Nouvelle, however you say Scotland in French. So they went to Boston, and then some of them just went back to France, and then some went to Haiti, and then a bunch of them came to Louisiana.
Doesn't Louisiana have a high population of like Acadians?
Yeah, like 100,000.
Yeah, like like the descended from Acadians and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, well, that's how the word Cajun came about, because it was Acadian, because they were from Acadia. Acadian.
There was a French colony in Louisiana before, right? Before the Louisiana Purchase?
Yeah, what happened was in 1699, France started Louisiana. All right, and it was French. There was people from France, directly from France. They were already in place in Nouvelle-Orléans, Baton Rouge, and these towns. And then the Acadians came around later, 75 years later, and they did not fit in with New Orleans at all because that was an urban area, and they were country bumpkins, so they moved out to the country, and they lived in their little shacks in the swamp. So you have the Creole French that live in New Orleans. They're straight from France, La France. Then you have the Acadians that came from Canada, and they live out in the country. Like, and where I live, yes, where I live is Acadiana, but more Germans around here, more Germans. But Acadiana, yeah, around here, And they eat country food that came from Canada and France.
All right, I want to get a couple questions here for a sec.
Okay, you comment on?
Let's see here. John from Kingston, John Riley, was here 42 minutes ago. I don't know if he's still here. Says, cheers, guys. Dave Zodiac.
Hey, John.
Yeah. Dave Zodiac says, thanks very much for the invite.
Good day, Dave.
Dullahan Brewing, Greg is here. He says, good evening, gentlemen. He said he would have joined, but the bastard Google won't let me in. Personally, I blame Joe. The bastard. Cheers.
They only let one Greg in at a time, so.
Yeah, I guess that's way worse. Jamie Smith says, Jack's Pumpkin Ale from Michelob tastes good.
Never had it.
Nope.
Average Joe is in the comments. He's not on the chat, but he's in the comments. The bitch says Jay is in Clamato Paradise. I'm envious. Massive Beer Review says Canadian jellies and jams. You can toss that beaver salad for some raspberry flavoring. Marty Fowler says, hey guys, and John says I like Shop Top and Left and Foo Garden.
Excellent.
Nice. So here's something that came up too last week. I did all the math on this too. I was telling Lee earlier before we went online. So this actually can show you probably what was claimed by the company to what we actually pay after taxes. Anyway, Norfolk, Ontario. Police in Ontario are searching for whoever stole $25,000 worth of beer from a business east of London, Ontario. Ontario Provincial Police say freight carrier County Transports was broken into in Norwick Township overnight between Wednesday and Thursday last week. A tractor trailer filled with thousands of bottles of beer was stolen from the business. Police say the beer stolen includes 144 cases of Dos Equis Amber, 572 cases of Dos Equis Lager, and 600 cases of Sol beer. The stolen tractor is described as well, but who cares? So the reason I say what the company claimed to what it's worth is because this would all be going to the beer store. Again, the beer store is owned by the companies that own this beer, so they'd probably just be claiming their exact losses. But here we go. Ready for this math? This is great. So $25,000 in beer, right? The Sol alone, which is sold at 2-4s here in Ontario, would have cost $26,100 if you bought 600 cases. All in all, you were looking at $60,199.20 in beer stolen if you were paying for it at the stores, which is disgusting. And that's just the stuff they talked about, not the other cases that were on there.
Rhino, Lee, what do you think of this for a beer label?
I think I'm in love all of a sudden.
They need to move that sign somewhere else.
That was the beer I had when I was in Washington.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want that coaster.
Like that.
So,
Reminds me of a beer, I think in Michigan, Hop Knocker or something along those lines has a similar label.
what would you guys do with 1,300 plus cases of beer?
I put it in bombers and charge double.
I would take it to a very, very rural location and sell it for slightly inflated prices, not as expensive as you bought it at the NSLC, But considering I stole it, it would be 100% profit for me anyway, so I could probably take it to a very rural place and sell it for, slightly more than what you would generally get it for or whatever. I'd say at $10 a case. $10 a case. There we go.
Well, you know what? $10 a case, you're still making $15,000.
Yeah, I'd be making plenty of money. So,
and it's as long as you can hide that tractor trailer, that beer's not getting tracked to you.
and I could do that. I could do that in Nova Scotia. This place is still so goddamn rural. I could take it up to the North or South Mountain. And just sell it to the hillbillies for $10 a case.
Well, I said something that got my friends get mad at me, and I'm not going to say it online. But I told them where I'm pretty sure that tractor trailer is the tractor and the trailer.
Yeah. I could get rid of most of that shit in probably a week. Honestly, I probably could. $10 a case.
The place I said this tractor trailer most likely is, all that stuff would be gone within a few days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean. You could do it because, I mean...
Especially with where they are. The place is right by Norwick.
I mean, the people come down from the mountain to buy beer at the NSLC, they only come down like once a month, like at the most. Because, the price is so big, they're saving up their money, they're coming down. If they come down any other time, they're buying cheap shit. If I'm sitting up in the mountain in some location, get a couple guys with me with shotguns... Stand around, sell beer for $10 a fucking case. Yeah, I'd be out of that shit in probably 7 days.
I was gonna say the people who would buy beer out of the back of a truck aren't gonna be too picky, so they'll.
No, they're
moved.
all they care about is price and getting drunk. That's all they care about.
Or is this craft or macro? Was it properly refrigerated?
Yeah. I go up in the North Mountain. No one's asking me if it's craft or macro. They say, "You got beer? Yeah. What's the price? $10 a case." Fuck yeah, boy! I'm taking that shit.
That's exactly how they'd say it too.
Yep.
There we go. I privately wrote to you guys where I'm pretty sure the trailer is. And it would be sitting just like I wrote there, because nobody can do anything about it.
Yeah.
What's the sales tax in Nova Scotia, Lee?
It is, I think it's 15% at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's 15% here too. How much does a 6-pack of propeller sell for out there, Lee?
It is around $13 now.
It's $13.75 here.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Anybody drank beer from Murphy's?
Yeah, Murphy's Irish Stout.
How about the red ale?
I have not had the red ale.
That is so hard to find. I don't even know if it's still made. I know where I can find some bottles. I don't know how fresh they are. That's an odd little number, that beer. Murphy's Red Ale. It is strange, but it's good to me. Some people hate it. It's very old. It's not something new either.
I'm very old. Look at my hair color.
Yeah, but
Hair color deceive you.
it won't. Okay. Anybody else had Murphy's Red Ale?
No. I've only had the Murphy Stout. We don't have a huge selection of that stuff up here.
It's a really strange little bottle. The bottle looks like a I've never seen a bottle look like that before. It's the most unusual looking beer bottle I've ever seen. Besides the one from Estonia. You know that beer from Estonia that's in that, I think Chad did it, Albino Rhino did it. It's shaped like a little Eiffel Tower type thing. It's
the strangest bottle I've seen is the one that's inside a dead squirrel.
Yeah, I didn't like that too much.
Happy Buddha.
A Happy Buddha is actually an amazing bottle too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's that bottle from Estonia though? It's like a four-sided pyramidal shape. It's a 10-ounce, 10 point. It's a strange configuration too. It's like 10.9 ounces, and it's called it was a pretty good beer though. It was called damn, I'll never think of it. It's shaped like a tool that you would use if you were building a house. Some sort of measuring tool. It's not round at all. It's angular. It only has sides to it.
I can't remember.
It's a brown bottle.
I've never had it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's really weird. But that Murphy's is a strange little bottle too. Berserker is some things to me. Hey, Berserker.
So,
Berserker, I watched some of your beer reviews this morning, I think. And I think the review I watched was, well, no, I could be wrong. I was drinking the High Alive from Florida.
there's the other Kakapa. I did the Kakapa Imperial Winter Stout.
Oh,
That's really good.
Cucapa, that's a strange little company from Tecate, Mexico.
I had one of theirs. I can't remember what it was.
A line of them here.
Cucapa Classica, that's what I had.
You didn't have the Cupa. You didn't have. What's that one from Mexico? That craft beer from Mexico? Cupa Chopra. Cupa Chopra.
Chupacabra?
Chupacabra, yeah. It's got that monster on it.
A goat sucker.
Yeah, they say it's a real monster that lives in Mexico. One of those legends. Oh, the beer is called Viru, Chad. Viru. Look it up on the internet. Viru. V-I-R-U. It's the damnedest thing.
No, there is a lot of interesting bottles out there. Now, earlier tonight, Greg brought up a comment about glasses and fancy glasses at bars that were just using the fancy glasses to steal money from you. Well, this is a act that came out across Canada just recently. So all provinces have this. If you guys go out to a bar, keep this in mind. When this first came out, they tested a lot of branded glassware, like Molson Canadian glasses and all that. A lot of them failed. So you might see a bunch of new glasses coming out too. It's called the Fairness at the Pump Act. It encompasses electricity, water, firewood, scales at stores, gas pumps, bars for draft beer. Basically, if you buy a pint, it has to be a pint. The rule is a pint in Canada is 20 fluid liters, 560 milliliters. The limit of error for 20 fluid ounces is 0.5 fluid ounces. This means that if your beer that was poured for you is not at least 19.5 fluid ounces, head doesn't count, this is all liquid, then they'll get fined. The fine can be anywhere from $75 to $5,000. This is a big thing. Again, a lot of branded glassware has been tested and they didn't hit the brands. I actually was ranting about this every single time I use my my Spearhead glass, because my Spearhead glass is supposed to be a pint glass, and I still have like six ounces in my can every time I pour it. So it's just one of those things. It's great to know that finally somebody's actually doing something about it, because a lot of these companies, craft brewers, are actually the ones that are more susceptible to it, but that's because they're buying the fancy glasses. It's not necessarily because they're trying to, it's because they're stupid and they want to...
Wasn't that whole thing like some bars in the Toronto area were I guess examined, and it was like 2 ounces was 1.5 ounces was like the minimum, and then it went down to like was it almost 7 ounces, I think they were giving short, and it was like a Belgian something rather, if I can remember that incorrectly.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying breweries are doing it on purpose as much as they just want to perpetuate that stereotype of it's a craft beer, it has to be in a fancy glass. But they're now going to start getting slapped down for it if people start reporting it. This has actually started to get advertised. So you're going to see more and more lawsuits, fines coming out on it. There was actually a brewery in Toronto that just got fined $15,000 this week. So it is real. They are finding people.
Well, we ran into that there last Friday at Pepper's Pub in St. John, and the guys had bought a couple of pints of Saison Tracteur from Trou de Diable, and they served them in like a snifter glass, kind of like, or like a tulip glass like this, right?
Yeah.
And then they came around like half an hour later. It's like, sorry guys, we were supposed to give you a full pint, and then they gave each person who ordered that beer another glass with like half full of the beer. Just because of the glasses they had were small.
Yeah, their owner probably said, "Oh my God, he probably just read the rule or something."
Well, the Metro newspaper was like one of those free newspapers, and I don't know if it's just Toronto area or what, but they did some undercover reporting. This is actually a front page topic, which tells you it's a great newspaper. Where they went to, I think, something like 25 different beer bars around the city, and only 2 of them gave you a full pint, and the rest were shorting you, again, anywhere from, I think, half an ounce to something like 6 or 7 ounces.
I believe.
And again, half an ounce is acceptable according to the law. Anything more isn't, and it's all liquid. It's not headroom. Now, the reason this is curious to me is the glasses we serve at my place of employment are exactly 20 ounces. So if there's any head, we can be fined. But yeah.
Just want to say quick there, Chad. Massive Beer Reviews is asking if he can get in on this. So. And my friend Todd is on here saying, "Hey, just back from board meeting, drinking a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest." And Jason Spears says Propeller IPA was his first IPA and still one of his favorites.
So, I mean, I don't know if the U.S. has a law like that or if they ever will, but I mean, it's great to see Canada fancy glasses there are until somebody makes them oversized. Until they're oversized with a marker on them, you're going to stop seeing so many of them. But, I mean, it's big companies and little companies that failed. I think Stella was the only big company glass that passed, because Stella gives you the market 20 ounces and then still leaves room for like 4 ounces of head.
Yeah, no, that's good. Honestly, I like that. I like that a lot. I like the idea of, especially enforcing on bars that they have to sell you the full pint. Like, considering the prices you pay in bars, definitely. I want my money's worth, man. I mean, I realize they have to charge more to actually make a profit on the beer they buy to sell in their bar, but at the same time, it's like, and speaking for myself, like, who really doesn't go to bars at all, if I'm going to a bar to drink, I want to get my money's worth. I really do.
Amen. I don't go to bars much either because I find that they're often a ripoff.
Yeah.
Chad, Mr. Chad, I want to ask you a question.
But
Could I propose a question for the group?
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, dude.
Okay. Matthew Dapkins joined this video. Review. Okay.
Yo.
Massive Beer Reviews. Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
I watch your videos all the time.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother.
Okay, here's the question. You're at the right time. I want to ask this question, Chad. Okay. Name the year that you first ever drank a craft beer, or that you would say you started drinking craft beer. I'll go first. The year I started drinking craft beer was 1996.
You got me beat by 1 year, 97.
I'm 46 years old, though.
I'm 38.
My first beer was when I was 8 in 90, but my first craft beer was probably you Nova Scotians are worse than us Irish.
Yeah, pretty much.
My first craft beer I didn't even know it was craft beer at the time, but it probably would have been. Yeah.
Wait, start over.
What do you remember your first craft beer run? What it was?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me think about this. I started drinking beer in February 1996 as an experiment, and the experiment's still going on. I would say, that's a good question. Maybe one of these Louisiana beers that are out of business today, like Rick and Jack's. Yeah, it might have been Rick and Jack's. They're gone. They didn't last. They didn't last past the first craft beer crash in the mid '90s, but it was really good stuff.
For me, it was 1996. Actually, probably I can't pin it. Is 96 or 97, one or the other. And my first real craft beer was probably from the Maritime the Maritime Beer Company, I guess it was called. And it was probably their Black Pearl Cream Ale. I think that was probably the first I ever did. That was truly a craft beer.
Wow.
And they're long dead, and I'm still here. But
Well, like Albino, my first beer was probably when I was like 2, when I was stumbling around my living room. My parents weren't watching a beer, and I just grabbed it and kind of slammed it, like every kid does when they're tiny. But my first one was a beer I still like to this day, which is Unibrew Maudit.
Maudit. Maudit.
Wow,
what
is a nice beer.
what a first craft beer! Holy shit!
I went to I used to go.
One that my friend Jesse started with too. Heist Almighty on my reviews.
Maudit. Used to go where?
I work at I work at a tattoo studio, so one of the largest internet sites for like body modification and stuff like that is called BME, which means Body Modification Design, and it was based out of Toronto. And I used to go up there for meetups and hangouts and stuff like that. And I went there, and a guy was like, "Hey," I asked him like, "You got good beer up here, don't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What should I drink?" And he brought me to the beer store. You know what I mean? And he's like, "You should try this." And I was like, "Awesome!" So I drank more than a 6-pack of it in one sitting. And then when I woke up 2 days later, I was like, "Wow, why am I not drinking this beer when I back home?" And then that's what started it all for me. I came back here and I was like, "I need more of this in my life." And 70 pounds later, here we are.
Uh-oh. Chad, Chad, when you were talking, you bugged out. What did you say?
When I was talking to, I was just asking him. I'm like,
I say Chad. Chad was trying to tell us what.
Oh, yeah, my first craft beer I didn't know was craft beer at the time. It hadn't been bought out yet by Sleeman. It would have been Upper Canada Dark. After that, my next first one probably would have been in 2000, like a couple years later. Between that craft beer, the Upper Canada Dark, and the next one, I didn't drink much beer. I had a lot of Boomerang from Quebec, which is technically a beer, but it's a lemonade flavored beer, so more like a radler or a shandy. And I wish I could get my hands on some now just to review it, just because I have fond memories of drinking it, getting drunk on my rugby field, drinking it, throwing it, saying it's not a fucking Boomerang, it didn't come back. And karma hit me because I actually got tackled onto a broken Boomerang bottle a few days later in a game.
Is the brewery defunct, or is
I don't know. I haven't looked it up much. I don't know anything about it.
So you're saying 1998?
Yeah, around 98.
Yeah.
I was illegally drinking from the time I was young. So
yeah, my parents used to give me beer when I was 3.
I used to think I could see better when I was drunk, so, you know.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh my god, I can see. For once in my life, I can see.
Yeah, my parents always. I'm youngest of 5 kids, and my parents always gave us booze.
Yeah, well, they didn't give me booze. They gave me beer, but not.
Well, beer, booze. You know what I mean? 6-1.
No, like if they were having a fish fry, I'd say, "Mama, give me something." They would let me sip out the bottle.
Here you go. That's a picture of me as a kid toasting.
Yeah, my dad was always against the idea of the forbidden fruit. He was like, If I give my kid a little couple sips here and there and educate him on the dangers of alcohol instead of letting them become rebellious and pissed off that he never had beer up till age 19 or whatever, maybe he'd be a bit more sensible about it.
Well,
You
that's
weren't more
right.
sensible, were you?
If you take away the mystique of it, it helps prevent alcoholism, probably.
My
Yeah, that was his general thought. I'm not an alcoholic. I sometimes overindulge, sometimes on camera, but
Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean a thing.
I think we all do that.
Oh yeah.
Especially Dale, that French blood.
yeah.
Hey, no French in my blood. And, if you want the specifics, my father's native, and my mother's Irish and Ukrainian.
You just threw yourself under the bus even more.
Yeah, even worse. We were saying French. You just said like 3 times worse than French.
Native.
But anyways, my first craft beer that I can remember, anyways, is I'd have to say, I guess 96 or 98, the year Bose opened. It was their lug tread in the old white porcelain bottles.
I had that way back then, the porcelain lug tread. Oh, was that gross?
Yeah.
That was horrible, horrible beer.
They
lug
got
tread
better.
now, so much better. They got the recipe good.
Yeah. And they changed their bottles. Those white porcelain bottles,
Well,
I tell you.
those porcelain bottles didn't fit there. We're here for the environment mold.
And they were expensive.
They were.
I think it was like $15 for one bottle or something.
Your pink porcelain.
Hey, Wellington. I actually just reviewed a beer from Wellington tonight before my wife got home from work. But they just turned 29 on Saturday, so there's been some craft breweries still going in Canada in Ontario for a long time now.
Well, you got the Granite Brew Pub. They're probably one of the first.
Well, no, the first in Ontario opened up in where? Where did it open up?
No idea.
This is a quiz. Once you know the place, it makes a whole bunch of sense about the entire town.
Thornia.
Welland.
Oh, Jesus.
The very first brew pub in Ontario opened up in Welland, and it was the very first craft beer in Ontario, and it was opened up by John Downing, who is the brewmaster professor at the Niagara Teaching Brewery.
Well, Chad, all I gotta say about that is my tummy hurts.
Yes. It makes everybody's tummy hurt when they hear that. But then you think about the fact that their beer store sells the most beer per capita in all the country.
Wow.
I'm not too surprised considering it's Welland. I mean, what else do they have to do there?
What about the other guys? When did they first start drinking craft beer?
98, 99 from Big Rock. We've been around for a while. Sure, the traditional Warthog. It's not the greatest craft beer, but just the fact that I got to try an ale, I blew my head off because I just stuck to Weiser's Deluxe, like Weiser's whiskey, because I couldn't handle the shit beer or kokanee. There's no hops in it, But Molson went to shit, so I tried Big Rock Traditional, which is a brown ale, and then straight there to Guinness, and then to wine.
You guys had the same problem in Ontario, eh? Back in like the early 2000s, the LCBO used to be known as the Lager Control Board of Ontario for us drinkers, because that's all you could get there.
We don't have the population. Like, we have really loose laws. We can get any beer, but there's just not, like in Lethbridge, there's 100,000 people, and it's just me and a few guys going into these stores. So they can't bring in all this, like you guys do beers out there I've never seen. We could get them, but they won't bring it in. I mean, there's only 3 million people out there, right? There's just not the demand. Back then, there was zero demand.
How about you, Greg?
My first craft beer would have been sometime in the early 2000s, and it would have been Creemore, which back then was a craft beer before it was bought by Molson. But the thing is, my dad bought it. My dad doesn't drink. He only buys it for guests, and I rarely drank back then. So this Creemore, I think, was like 2 years old, and it tasted pretty bad.
Yeah, because back then they had no filtration. They had, their beer back then was delivered to the beer stores weekly, and it was you have to drink it within like a week and a half of it being delivered.
Yeah, and then I guess the first sort of what I consider my first craft beer was in 2011. I'm a late bloomer compared to the rest of you, and that was a Great Lakes Pumpkin Ale. And then I kind of took a break, and then 2012 is when I really started to get into the craft beer.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What about you?
I'm maybe not quite that late a bloomer, but I am a late bloomer compared to some here. I think my first craft beer, like actual craft brewery made, was 2007, and it was Pump House's Fire Chief Red.
Good one to start with.
Yeah, Fire Chief Red.
Oh man.
Well, here's a question then. Since we went with when you drank your first craft beer, what was your very first beer? Period.
So that only goes back 18 years. None of us have been drinking craft beer too long. Then 18 years is not long. Sorry.
The first beer I drank the entire thing of was 1998, and it was an Alpine. First beer I ever tasted was a pale ale in like 90, 91, something like that.
Okay, so Matt, we'll go to Matt next.
Considering what my dad would buy, it was probably a Black Label, like 1875 or something like that. Like a pounder of the worst beer ever.
Lee?
First beer I ever tasted was probably Moosehead. That's when my dad used to take me for like little mini beer parties in our camper outside the house when I was like 4 or 5 years old. He'd just give me a couple sips out of like a thermos fucking mug. First real beer I ever had was probably Alexander Keith's, and that was probably when I was, in my early teens or whatever. First full beer.
Dale?
I'm not 100% sure, but there's 3 that I could tell you. It was either O'Keefe, Labatt 50. Yeah, O'Keefe, Labatt 50, because that's what my father used to drink. Or probably Durango. Do you remember Durango?
No.
Oh, shit, yeah.
You're old.
Well, you obviously remember it, because it's your... Oh.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad beer. It was like a fruity... I don't know, man. It was a beer with lots of sweet fruits in it. It wasn't very tasty anyways.
How about you, Ron? Very first beer.
The first beer I tasted or the first beer I drank?
First beer you had.
Because when I was a child, like I said, I would taste different beers like Schlitz and stuff like that. The first beer I ever sat down and drank to say I'm going to drink a beer was, I can tell you this, exactly what it was. It was Miller High Life in bottles, clear 7-ounce bottles, February '96. And I said, this is not bad. I wasn't overwhelmed by it, but I just picked it off the store shelf because I figured this is an iconic brand. Let me start with this. And so I drank the whole 6-pack and I said, okay, this is doable because I was 27 years old and I never drank beer really before then. So I said, let me see what else is out there. And I just started doing this, what I call the long march through the beer brands, and that was 18 years ago, going on 19 years. So it was pretty exciting. But yeah, Miller High Life, of all things.
Yeah, I drink High Life over Miller Genuine Draft any day.
I personally like MGD more than High Life.
We used to drink a ton of MGD in high school. That was like our go-to thing.
Yeah, I prefer MGD too, which is actually the same beer. They're actually the same exact beer, but
your pal Charles stupid.
Huh?
Your pal Charles stupid.
No, they're the same beer. They're just
brewed. No, you're all wrong. You're stupid. 100% wrong.
Ron, it's one of our inside jokes. Anytime we disagree, your palate's stupid.
Oh man.
No, it is the same beer, but one is pasteurized and one is cold filtered. But I think Miller Genuine Draft is on the way out. I think it's on the deathbed.
I didn't mind MGD. It had a nice, like, mild coffee.
You can wave bye-bye to MGD.
Oh.
It's been a fun 18 years, though.
I've never had Miller High Life.
What?
I've never had it.
You're not missing much.
No.
Don't.
What was your very first beer?
I don't know. It would have been, I don't know, pretty
say
much
something
figure
good.
whatever the budget beer was in the early 90s.
Well, there was hundreds of them back then.
Probably. Like, I'd probably say something Molson Canadian or something like that, but I come from a Polish family, so it wasn't an issue for me to have a few sips of beer here and there when I was quite young, but I had no idea what I was drinking. It was beer, you know. Whatever. My earliest memories in high school were something like Lakeport or Laker, or I remember Kokanee.
Oh, pure mountain spring water from London, Ontario.
I've never had coconut.
Out west.
I remember at the time thinking it was awesome, but I haven't drank it for about 15 years, so I'm not quite sure how I'd feel about it now.
Probably slightly different.
Mine was when I was 8, like I said, and it would have been an O'Keefe product because Molson hadn't bought them yet. Molson actually bought them later on in that year, but it would have been O'Keefe's Old Vienna Lager.
But wait a minute, you're telling me at 8 years old you sat down and drank a beer?
Oh man, I'm Irish and my family's stupid. I had my first beer when I had my first actual beer when I was 8. Yes.
Wait, why did you have to separate that between Irish and stupid? You said your family was Irish. We already knew they were stupid.
Redundancy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you waited all the way to late.
Culturally acceptable.
Chad, part of my family is Scotch-Irish, so I take umbrage at that comment too.
So there's all kinds of alcoholics in your family as well. It's important that we all know these things.
Well, my mom was never an American citizen. She was off the boat from Scotland, and my father's parents were off the boat from Belarus. So there was a lot of vodka and beer everywhere.
My father and his mother were off the boat from Ireland. Like they were.
Wait, who came from White Russia?
My father's side of the family, my grandparents.
Oh, well, how about that?
My family was kicked out of Scotland for trying to overthrow like a local fucking lord or something like that. So we're all a bunch of drunks and introverts and assholes.
Yeah.
My family were Hessians.
Oh Jesus! You're all like Christopher Walken with sharpened teeth and shit.
Well, that's only one branch. You know, that's like the loyalist branch.
Come on, you all sharpen your teeth.
Yeah,
Come on, Nick. You sharpen your teeth to points. Come on, do it.
No.
I don't think I like this anti-Germanic.
Everyone likes anti-Germanic. Everyone hates the Germans. Come on now. Because the Germans hate everyone else, so everyone should hate the Germans. That's all there is to it. It's fair.
Equal opportunity hate.
Yes, it balances out.
My family left there well before the
before the Nazi stuff.
Oh yeah. Well,
all the Nazi stuff. We were German before the Nazi stuff.
They were farmers.
Mm.
Well, except for during the Revolutionary War.
There was lots of Nazi stuff there.
And they were mercenaries, so. But there's also like Irish in my family too.
So we established the entire panel is full of Scottish people and Nazis. That's good.
Oh God.
Couple comments here. Let's see. Whiskey Pete says, "What is the beer that you consider really good but overpriced at the same time?"
How long is this going to be? How long do we have this going on? Do we have like 72 hours to name all?
Yeah, I mean that question is impossible to answer.
There's a lot of really good beers.
But there's some that are like off the hook, like ridiculous. Like Angel Share, Lost Coast Angel Share and Devotion. I think those are right off the top of my head are two beers that are fantastic.
Here's one, and both Lee and Nick have had it. It is Silversmith's Black Lager. Silversmith's Black Lager, arguably probably one of the best black lagers out there. $8.75 for a 650 milliliter bottle. No, thank you. Fuck you.
Nah, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. No. I agree.
This one right here.
Well, that big O just screams overpriced every time I see it.
Yeah, the Dark Horizon. I didn't pay for it, but I mean, that's what was this? That's like 8.5 ounces, and it's like retails out in this area for like $15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Oh, the Ola Dub. The Ola Dub 40-year was $22 a bottle.
How big was the bottle?
11 ounces.
333 mils.
Whoa. I might consider that if I was splitting it with someone, but otherwise, no.
Well, I'll tell you this. I wasn't exactly thrilled paying $85 a six-pack for Westlater 12, but
That's a good point.
That's a good price.
It's a good it's not a good price though. It's
Well, compared to what they sold it at here, it was like a six-pack was like $89 or something like that.
I was gonna say it's a good price for North America, but it's not a good price.
Yeah.
It's a horrible price.
it was the best beer I ever had. I'll admit it. But I mean, would I really want to pay $85 for a six-pack beer?
But the big difference between West-Veterland and everyone else, I think, is that West-Veterland was almost an MSRP thing, to where that's where everybody was paying for that price. A lot of like smaller bottles, they've run through so many middlemen that they've gotten jacked up to be that point. You know,
That's the one thing that I hear every time I talk about the price for West Veletarian is that in Belgium it's actually a lot cheaper. That's great. Here I can get for the price I could pay for a six-pack of that, I could get like 14 bottles of Rochefort 10.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And a whole lot of St. Bernardus Abbott 12.
Exactly, and the St. Bernardus Abbott 12 in the 650 milliliter bottle, like the giant bottle. Like,
Right. But I will say this. That was an exciting day because that beer sold out in 1 hour across the state.
Oh yeah, it did that year.
You in about 5 minutes.
And I did.
it has this huge hype of you can't get this beer, so people will pay anything because they don't think they can get that beer.
Right, my little town could get it, and the whole city of Houston, Texas could not get it. No one in Houston could get it. And we had somebody that drove in from like 200 miles to get that one of those six-packs, and we only got 5 six-packs in my store. So I figured, like, you know, this is the one time in my life I'm going to get to try this. I'm buying it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think
You buy like 2 and then you had to take one back for a rich guy?
I think in my neck of the woods, they only had
Right,
like.
that's what happened. I bought 2 six-packs, and then they called me from the store and begged me to bring the other one back.
Some upper class school had wanted to get the beer.
But you see, that was sort of a made-up story. You know who really wanted it? I'll probably get fired for saying this if he's watching the video. It was the owner of the store that wanted it. So the owner of the store said, "Where's my six-pack?" And the manager said, "Well, I sold it." Then he flipped out and said, "You sold it? Are you insane?" So then they called me and said, "Could you please bring it back because he's going crazy over here?" So I said, "Well, all right. I don't want anybody to get fired over this." So they gave me a refund, but it was sad because we had 12 bottles and we only ended up getting drank, you know, half of it.
Yeah.
If you try, you can get it though. A local tasting group in my area, we got a case of 12 and a case of 8 last year.
Price?
I didn't get a price. The guy who got them didn't give me a price. Everybody chipped in, and whatever. But we ended up getting like a real case, not like the branded ones with the like label on the bottom, like the OG ones with no label. In the wooden
I was going to say,
case,
at the LCBO, you can get them, but it's just when you order them in, you have to order at least 3 2-4s at once.
Whoa.
Okay.
But the price is a lot less than those six-packs.
Yeah.
I believe, if I remember correctly, because the Beeraholic tried to get me to go in on it one time. He had this huge order coming from Belgium. He's like, you know, you can get a six-pack of these 8 different beers. It's just going to cost you $200. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I think the math was something like the 2-4 was $120 each.
I don't know.
Beeraholic. Hey, you know, but the point is, it's not really worth the price. I mean,
it's still not worth that price.
It's not. It's totally
That's better
not.
than paying $120 for the six-pack, which is what we were paying here in Ontario.
That's insane.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like I had the opportunity to have one a couple years ago, if I paid in $20, but like it was at a point where I didn't have $20 to throw into anything. But
That's what it is.
yeah, but I mean overpriced. I'm interested in trying it at some point, but at the same time, I've seen enough reviews from people I respect their opinions where it's like it's not that great. I mean, compared to other beers of the same style, not necessarily that great. It's just overhyped.
It's a nice beer, but I mean, I'll take a Rochefort 10 against that any day of the week.
No way. It's 100 out of 100, Lee. West Latron 12 is 100 out of 100.
Actually, the 8 is better than the 12.
Well,
I'm talking about West
Yeah,
Lake 12.
I consider that West Flutter 12 to be one of the best beers I ever had, in my opinion, because I could afford it. $20 is good enough for me to try it once. But is
Okay,
it
well-
when you have it? Is it really $20 more better than any other Rochefort 10? Not really.
Well, the thing, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'll say this, Jay. Like, I'll take your opinion out of all the consider your opinion within all the other opinions I respect on beer. Yours is actually in the minority. I'll have all the opinions I respect when it comes to beer. Most of them say it's really good beer, but at the same time, you'll find all kinds of beers of the same style that are better or equal to it for a lower price.
I understand. I understand that. But to me, the minimum, the worst, and I've had a few bottles. The worst score I could give it would be 100 out of 100. That was if I was lowballing it.
Oh,
My local homebrew club, they do a buy on the West Ultra and whatever every few months, and I think it's about $14 a bottle. And I bought this one here. Here's one. You guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's last year's version of it. It's the last one out of the 6-pack, and I think it was $14 a bottle. And about 5 years ago, my mom bought me a case of this stuff.
Yeah, that's 12. That was actually.
That's a 12.
I think the 12 was the best of them all when you consider the price for the quality.
This was brewed on July 2011. So, it's another 3 years on top of that. So, they're pretty.
Hey, you know what? He's making a good point, but Lee is making a good point. Because, yeah, West Latron 12 is top of the top. But, on the other hand, the Roquefort 10 and the Roquefort 12, those are so much less expensive, and they are so close that it's almost...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I haven't had the 10 or the 12. I've had the 8.
For the price, I would drink the Rochefort 10 every single day because again, I can get what the Rochefort 8 is $3.25 here. The Rochefort 10 was like $4 here a bottle when it was here. So for $4 a bottle, I can have 3 bottles of that to 1 bottle of the Westie 12 at the same size. Yeah, I'm going to buy the Rochefort 10.
I'm sorry, we get the 10, not the 12. I don't know what I was talking about. We get the 10, the 8, and the 6. But they're awesome beers too, and they're so much cheaper.
Just want to say here, Chad, Ethan's Beer Reviews says, hey guys, just saying hello, how do I get in on this? I don't know if you have him in your circles or not.
He's in my circle, but I'm about to get off because I'm getting tired.
Well, you have yourself a wonderful night, good sir.
I'm tired.
See you, Ron.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good talking to you all.
Yeah, great conversation tonight, Ron.
Okay, we all have a good night.
You as well.
Cheers.
See ya.
So long.
But to get back to the whole point of overpriced beers, my favorite overpriced beer of all time that I'd pay money for now that back in the day I thought was super overpriced was Courage Russian Imperial Stout. They used to come in like little 6.8 ounce bottles.
Whoa.
Oh my God. It was like $15 to $18 for a 6.8 ounce bottle. And I would never buy them because I'd be like, no way I'm going to pay that. But today,
yeah,
I would buy that all day. I love that beer to no end.
Yeah, if I had the money, and at this point I do actually have the money, so I probably would. But back in the day, I'd be like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like back then, I'm like, no way. But now it's like, there's beers that are overpriced that you don't want to buy, but then there's beers that you're almost like, I mean, there's always a ceiling, but you're like, bastard. I don't care. Whiny Bastard?
Whiny Bastard from Nickelbrook. I have 2 bottles left of it over in the other side of the basement. They're $18 a bottle. But they are amazing. Lee and Nick both had one.
I would do that for 1 bottle. I would.
It's a great beer, but $18 a bottle makes it hard to buy a bunch of them to age.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and I mean Thomas Hardy. I have probably a half case Thomas Hardy here, but I'll anytime I find Thomas Hardy, I just pick it up. I don't care what price it is. I will collect that to no end.
Yeah, I would do the same thing, honestly. After having a 2008, yeah. If Thomas Hardy ever came my way, I would pay money for it.
There's a local place I live right next to. It's about 8 minutes away from me.
I don't know which one Google's going to send the invite to.
It's
been invited, so you can just join if you have a webcam. I'm going to go pee in the sink, and then we should get on to the next question. We've been on this one for a while.
okay, but there's a place next to me. You could pull Thomas Hardy 2008s out for $9 a bottle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I could go there right now and just. But it's a pizzeria of all places. But they're into like aged beer. They have Cantillones and Thomas Hardys and old JW Lees and all kinds of old goodness.
Wow. Right on.
Yeah.
See, I would argue. Does anyone around here have they had Bellwoods or tried any of their products?
No.
Yeah, I've had Bellwoods. Fucking Bring Out Your Dead and. Couple other ones from them.
Rich Shark and Roman Candle from them. They were pretty damn good.
Like Bring Out Your Dead. That's one of my all-time favorite beers. Like that's like a 5 out of 5. Like if I could give a higher mark, it would be higher. Like it's so fucking good.
The thing is, they are one of my favorite breweries, and I do buy their products. And the barrel-aged stuff, whatever, it's kind of worth whatever people are willing to pay for it. I just find that their regular products, like sort of like their Wizard Wolf, their Roman Candle, Grizzly Beer, whatever, they're all fantastic beers. The problem is you get 500 milliliter bottles, which is only slightly bigger than a tall boy, and you're paying basic 650 or 750 milliliter prices for them. And they're in hipster area Toronto, so you're basically paying for their lease payments, but. I just think they're overpriced. I continue to buy it, so I guess maybe they're not overpriced. But I'd like to see them be a little bit more, competitive, down to earth with their pricing.
Yeah.
Bottles.
Well, actually, you know what? This can actually, before we go on to a few more comments, we can segue completely into another topic because of that price top. You guys have both been to Niagara-on-the-Lake with me, and. Oasthouse and Silversmith and their prices. There is another
brutal.
Anyway, there's going to be 3 breweries actually opening up on that same street. Queen Street's going to have 5 breweries on it, but one of them is the Exchange. Me and Aaron actually talked back and forth about this for a while on Facebook. The Exchange is supposed to be completely looking at high-end IPAs, like out of your mind IPAs and wild ales. Wild ales are expensive to begin with, at $8 to $20 a bottle. Then you add the Niagara-on-the-Lake price to it for the let's rape the rich tourists that are here for wine country. And you're going to be looking at $15 to $35 a bottle, most likely. I mean, a black lager's $8.75 a bottle. A saison is $13 a bottle. What's a wild ale going to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Can you put that in the dryer?
I can. So yeah. Thoughts on that? Like, is that going to be way too overpriced? I love wild ales myself, and I get that wild ales cost money because you don't know what you're going to get, and they take time to make. But
no, it's too much.
You're going to have. Well, we don't know what they're going to charge, but I'm assuming they're going to be the same as everything else that's in Niagara-on-the-Lake, and they're going to put a premium on it because it's Niagara-on-the-Lake.
Well, if they start like really overcharging, like no, too much. I
won't have to pay him good too.
I won't fucking do it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, what's the price of Oasthost's fucking saison just to buy
$13 for a 750?
12 or 13.
13 for a 750? Okay. I might draw the line there. That would probably be where I draw the line. But higher than that, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it.
When I went to Oasthouse, when I saw their prices, I didn't even buy a bottle of any of them. They had a thing where you could sample all 3 of their beers for $5, and that was good enough for me, and frankly, none of them were that good.
Well, no, and that's the thing with all those places, right? What they're doing is they're raping tourists. That's what they're trying to do. They're purposely trying to rape tourists. You go in and you buy a pint of the black lager. The pint of the black lager is, what, $4 or $5. That's a great price. I'll pay that. But to go home with the bottle's $8.75. A pint of especially on Friday night pints. They have Friday night pints at Oasthouse. Friday night pints, no matter what beer it is, it's $5 for the pint. So you go in, you buy a pint of their saison, it's $5. You buy 2 pints of the saison, you've had more than the bottle now, and it costs you $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I bought at Silversmith. I bought one of those Strong Wrong #1. I think it's a lambic they called it, or
Yeah, which isn't a lambic because it's not made in the Brussels
yeah,
area.
the fake lambic, as you said in your review. And I think I paid. I don't know what I paid, but it was like $12 or $13. It was pretty expensive, and
Yeah, and it was a little 500 milliliter bottle.
yeah, it wasn't really like it wasn't that good of a beer that I felt it was worth it.
See,
Like,
I loved it myself, but I mean, to each their own, right? I mean, but you think that's basically the starting point. This is, hey, we screwed up a beer. We're going to charge you $13 for the bottle, much like the Dark Forest one there. King of the Forest.
Jesus Christ!
But
No.
unlike the King of the Forest, this one actually was okay. But it was this beer got screwed up. We're going to charge you $13 for it. Now we're a brewery that specializes in sours and wilds with a brewmaster that specializes in sour.
yeah, like
Nah,
sorry, I was gonna say just like the Bring Out Your Dead, like Lee was saying earlier. That's $12 a bottle for a 500 milliliter.
I would pay that. I would pay that for.
That's the thing. Next time it's available, I think in a month or so, I'm gonna buy at least a case of it if they'll let me. If not,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can get my girlfriend to come buy another case because that stuff's absolutely fantastic. This stuff
Yes.
too, is donkey venom. I know Chad hasn't tried it yet, but this stuff is freaking amazing. And this is coming from somebody that's not even a huge fan of sours, and it's $10 a bottle, and I would go back and buy a case if they had more of it.
Yeah, the thing about Bring Out Your Dead, that is such a good beer. It's like, that's one where I would pay, like, even a more inflated price just to have a bunch of them to sit on, like, because it's so worth it. It really is so worth it. Because that's the kind of beer where you can drink it all night. Like, you can just sit there and sip on it all night when you open it. So, yeah.
Well, conversely, what about the flip side of the conversation? What's that cheap beer that you guys covet?
Donkey venom. I know Chad hasn't tried it. Crazy Canuck is about $2.50 a can. I always think it's beer.
Cheap beers that I covet, stuff from Innocente. Innocente is probably craft beers in Ontario, probably the best prices out there, and I mean, people get mad at me when I talk about it. These are $3.52 before tax for the 500 milliliters. Great beer. It ends up being like $4.25 for the fucking thing, and you can't beat that for a great
beer where you can drink it all night. Like,
This right here in New Brunswick, they just came out. It's a new microbrew, Bottle de Bouffe from Petit Sol, La Brasserie de Petit Sol up in Edmonton. $2.35 a bottle. Love the price.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, because
Little study.
I can't. Yeah, that's sweet. I can't say there are really necessarily cheap.
Well,
craft
cheaper,
beers.
not cheap, but cheaper.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even say there's like cheaper as far as the craft breweries here. All the craft breweries in Nova Scotia are pretty much
great beer.
the same price. Like, they're pretty much on the same line. So I could say Garrison, fucking Pub House, Boxing Rock, any of them. They're all pretty much around that $13 a six-pack.
But even like in my, like, it's not even local to me, but like from California, AleSmith, I can get AleSmith 750s for like around like $11-12. To me, that's like, not everything they do is almost a home run for me. And for a 750 of that quality, you're looking like a brewery beer or whatever. So you're looking at $20 to $30. To me, they smoke them. So it doesn't have to be like local, you know.
Well, the thing in Nova Scotia is like we really don't have that sort of opportunity. Like most of the craft brew we get is local, and other than that,
gotcha.
yeah. So.
And hi, Ethan.
Hello.
Just snuck in there.
Hi, jumped in. Also, Chad, someone else, Sammy Russell said, Chad, how do I get into the Simulink, bro?
See, I'll tell you, it's not a local beer, so I can't get it normally. But when I go to Michigan to visit family, they have, I think it's New Holland Dragon's Milk, and that stuff you get a 4-pack of the small bottles for. It's about $9 or $10 a 4-pack, and that's a fantastic value. Like that's actually it's a barrel aged stout, and it's really good.
We get the same thing here.
Just for $10. It was $10 for a 4-pack, and I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, those are
Dragon's Milk is awesome. I agree.
I've never had Dragon's Milk, so I can't say anything about it.
That's a great beer.
We get on draft out this way a lot, so it's really nice.
I'll bring a bottle back from Michigan in a month or so.
Awesome.
I just had the Brewdog's Paradox Smokehead Imperial Stout, and it wasn't that bad. It's pretty good.
What about you, Ethan? What do you think?
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just barely, but we can hear you.
What are you guys talking about?
The cheap craft beer that you covet.
The cheapest craft beer?
That you covet, that's good.
Well, right now I'm drinking Sam Adams Boston Lager, but I mean, cheap wise, I guess I'd have to go with that for now. But off the top of my head,
Yeah, I mean, you know what a great craft brewery around me is that does cheap stuff, and they're close to me in Pennsylvania, is Trogs. Trogs does Trogs Troganator, which is their, like, Doppelbock. You're talking about a 10% Doppelbock with crazy density, and you're looking at about $10 for a 6.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
Another brewery that, if we're talking really local, a brewery that does a really local beers that are cheap, is the Niagara College. Their price did just go up. It used to be $5.60 for the bombers. They're now $5.95 for a bomber.
Those bastards.
Not much of a go up, but it went up. Now the thing with Niagara College is it's really hit or miss, right? It matters if the student's good, what style they're doing, if they hit the style right. Some of them are hits, some of them are misses, but it's really nice to be able to go in. If you go in while the semester's going, when people are actually brewing all the time, you can go in and find like 10 new beers each time you walk in, and then you have to try and decide what you're doing.
That whole aspect of going in there and just, like, not saying Russian roulette, but, like, you're trying new stuff all the time from people that really give a shit. But on top of that, you know, even if it's failed, the person's probably busting their ass. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's nice to go in there and just try new stuff all the time, I would imagine.
Yeah, the thing is, they have two sections, right? They have they'll be given a style. The whole class will be given a style, say ESB, and the whole class has to do an ESB. And then they'll be given times where make whatever you want. So there's like times you'll walk in and there's a tomato basil beer there. Awesome. Other times you'll walk in and there'll be like five fucking ESBs from kids that don't know how to make an ESB and one that was made right.
Oh, that Pete Mossy scotch I see over there, man. Come on now. I'm a Speyside, man. I'm not an Islay guy.
Oh, you need the peat moss.
Well, it's hard to follow up after a donkey venom. It's hard to kind of follow up with something, so I got to move on to the peaty scotches.
Which one was that?
Then you got this.
I don't want that. What's the peaty one over there?
It's just a 1958 Speyside. That's
Is that Lagavulin?
It is.
Fuck you! Fuck you! That is my scotch of choice.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I only buy it though. I buy it like once every 2 years when I'm crossing the border.
Yeah, I never go to Buffalo, but you can get it for like unfortunately, even in Michigan, it's one of those things that it's still $90 a bottle there. Like if I ever get to Buffalo, it's like $60 a bottle. Sadly, I don't get to Buffalo all that often.
Oh, do we have any more comments? We kind of got on a sidetrack there.
Russell's gone, so no one's looking. Let me see. I'll give it a look.
Oh, Lee left, did he? Fuck you, Lee.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't see anything on here. No. Nope, I don't see anything. There was somebody earlier asked, I don't know if they, let's see. Someone said something about cheese and beer earlier. I don't know if you guys covered that.
Yeah, we got that.
Well, there's one here from 2 minutes ago. Chad, which would you say is the best beer offerings from each of the Ontario craft breweries?
Oh, well, you'd have to narrow it down to which Ontario craft breweries you want, since there's like 110 of them open right now. And I haven't even had beer from half of those. Like, there's so and we always say this to our American counterparts and our American viewers and panel members, but the problem with Canadian beer isn't that it's not high quality. It's that a lot of the high quality stuff is so regional. It's not funny because you don't have the distribution. If you don't pay to get into the beer store, you're not getting into the beer store. You can get into the LCBO easily enough if you have the right amount of fucking production,
but then you still have to sell yourself to each different LCBO. So you have to have a sales guy that will come all the way down to, say, Niagara from Ottawa to try and sell it to the Niagara region. So you don't see it unless you go to the brewery. I mean, Nickelbrook, I love Nickelbrook. Innocente, I love Innocente. Bose, fucking... There's a huge list of breweries I love, but you only get the good beer if you go right to the brewery.
One person has to hold the cap, the other has to do it. So we can do it tomorrow, but I can't do it myself.
Did you ask him a question you walked away?
Yep, that's why I'm going back. It wasn't my question.
Oh, trouble in paradise over there.
So what else you guys got? You got any local good stuff coming up?
Local here, I have Taps. There's nothing good that ever comes out of Taps. Maybe the pumpkin pie. I'm actually going, the place that I host my beer festival at, I'm going there tomorrow, so I'm hoping their bitchy witch pumpkin ale is good, because I'll get that while I'm there.
Always shows up in NIMBY Liquor for some reason these days.
Oh, fucking Lake of Bays. Fuck Lake of Bays.
Yeah, I don't mind this. It's the 10-point IPA.
I don't mind it either, but fuck Lake of Bays.
Are they being dicks or something?
They're fucking the Anheuser-Busch of the craft beer world right now.
Yeah,
Whatever they can sell their name onto, they'll sell their... Hey, NHLPA, you want to make an alumni beer with us? It can be horrible shit, but we'll make it if you pay us.
Or they got another canned lager, don't they?
Yeah, the Rock Cut and the Top
Yeah,
Shot
Rock
both
Cut.
fucking sucked. They were both shit.
And the other part is like they're nicer stuff like this. Like I actually kind of like this one, but it was $10 for this fucking 7.
Exactly. And then they have their mocha porter, which was actually okay the first time it came out, and then they're like, "Hey, everybody loves this. You know what we could do to make more money? We can cheapen it up so that we get a better profit and sell it for more money because they liked it last year, so they'll buy it again."
Even their, I think it was their Rock Cut Lager. I tried it at a beer fest and it was pretty good. And I ended up buying a couple of cans of it for my girlfriend, who she likes her light beer, and it was terrible out of the can. Like it was almost undrinkable.
Your palate is stupid.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No, I hated the Rock Cut Lager. It just tasted like a budget beer. It was the very first craft beer that I gave the Bouget stamp to, and the Bouget stamp comes from Lake of Bays now. So anytime I say something's a Bouget beer, it's all because of Lake of Bays.
Bouget.
Bouget, a craft beer that's trying to be a budget beer. Yep.
Wow.
Charge craft beer prices, but make it taste like a macro.
Yeah, but budget beer at craft beer prices, that kind of thing.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
I don't mind if craft beer makes a budget beer at a
price.
budget price, but man, if you're gonna sell it as a fucking regular craft beer, go fuck yourself.
I'm thinking Lake of Bays is getting pretty close to Trafalgar and their bullshit.
Oh, Trafalgar. I actually just bought the Trafalgar Hop Nouveau tonight. And it's usually the only Trafalgar beer that I actually don't mind.
Yeah.
I have a problem with budget beers that are even priced at budget beer prices in Ontario. Like, I'm not a big fan of Coors Light, but when I compare it in the States for $1.50 a pint, suddenly it seems like a better beer.
Well, it's because it was $1.50 instead of $2.
Well, no, this is for a pint, so it'd be like $6 here.
Oh, you're going to bad Toronto bars, man. You got to go to Holes in Welland.
Yeah, we don't. I wish I could find some places that would serve me cheap beer like that, but no, here is cheapest I've ever seen Coors Light for.
I laugh my ass off when I walk into a bar and see a budget beer in a bottle in their fridge. Because somebody will walk in and go, "Hey, I really like that budget beer. Can I have, like, Old Vienna?" I've seen Old Vienna bottled in bars. Old Vienna is $29 a 2-4. The bar will sell it for like $6.50 a fucking bottle. "I'd like a bottle of Old Vienna, please." "Here you go." "Would you like another?" "Here you go." "How about 2 more?" "Here you go." "Oh, you just want a case." Like, what the fuck?
Well, it kills me when you can get something like Coors Light. What's Coors Light? Like 36 a 2-4 here, and in the States you see it on sale for like $14-15 for the same 2-4.
Yeah, over in Quebec at the Costco, you get a 60-pack of Coors Light for the cans for like $59.95.
Yeah, you buy what?
I can get a 32 pack of Coors Light cans for like $15.
Yeah, what are the packs that sell in Quebec? They're like fucking big hexagonal motherfuckers that they're not even square.
The 49 packs or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Like, holy fuck, man.
Oh, those are the 30-something packs. They look like a stop sign.
Yeah, something like yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Did you guys see the whole Coors Light fucking cocaine thing?
Oh, the hoax there that came out. It has cocaine.
No, like all like they had to recall almost all Coors Light because there's actual like laced. There was a bulk of cocaine in the cans of Coors Light, like actual like trace amounts of cocaine in there.
There's trace amounts of cocaine in almost everything.
Hey guys.
Yeah, that's true. But
that would make Coors Light a bit more tasty, probably.
I know, right?
Chad, how are you tonight, brother?
Good. How about yourself?
Nothing. I'm great, man. Thanks for the invite. I happened to jump onto YouTube after work and seeing you guys are here. I figured I'd spill a couple beers with y'all. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
Awesome.
We got
What's
two
everybody
Russells here now.
Anyway, I should probably.
What am I drinking right now? I am on to the Innocente Conscience.
Good stuff.
I've got the Lake of Bays 10-point IPA, which is.
I have a super underrated Tommyknocker Legend. I'm not a Tommyknocker fan, but their Legend is actually good.
I have 75 Heineken caps beside me.
There you go.
I have a very angry cat.
These are all caps from the World Tour competition, so I'm going to put all these codes in and hopefully win a trip.
Yeah, great. I start with a Glutenberg Red, gluten-free beer. So awesome.
I want that so bad.
Oh yeah, you just want it so bad.
I do. I like trying gluten-free beers.
Well, I could send you one.
They usually suck, but I like to try them.
I could send you one, and I've had a couple of
I don't think you should.
Lee, did you actually buy the gluten-free red, or did somebody buy it for you?
No, I bought it because I had the extra money, so I was like, fuck it. It's the only thing I haven't had at the NSLC, so I'll try it. Why not?
Wow.
So I had that, and then I had a couple bone shakers, and now I'm on the St. Ambrose Oktoberfest.
Nice.
How are those Oktoberfest?
They're not bad. They're not bad. They're actually pretty good.
Did you get that local?
You guys had the Oma Gang, right?
Oma Gang Bang?
I've never had anything from Oma Gang.
No. Hennepins are really good.
Have you guys had Labatt Bourbon Barrel Ale? Or their Bourbon Barrel?
No, I've been wanting to get that too, but I haven't crossed.
I was about to say, that's like the newest micro craft brew around here.
I want to get that, and what was the other one they put out? The Apple?
Apple cider, or no, it wasn't. It was an apple ale.
Oh.
So.
I'm willing to try everything. If I hate it, I can make fun of it, and if I don't hate it, then I found something I don't hate.
Right. It's like I think it was like $6.99 or $7.99 a 6-pack.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, you Americans.
I just racked my. Actually, I opened the first bottle of my homebrew for Halloween. I brewed a pumpkin IPA, and it's a little cloudy yet, but I kegged it, so it's carved pretty nice. I want to send you, man, Chad. I gotta send you a bottle of this, bro. I need a good review on it.
Pumpkin IPA does sound interesting.
Yeah, I did. I used Semco and I used Citra, and I dry hopped it. And I'll tell you, man, I kegged it last night, and look at. I mean, it's even under the carb, it's already starting to get pressure in it.
So did you put like pumpkin spices in it, or did you just like use pumpkin in the?
What I did is I bought a pumpkin, and I took a carrot. Like the potato peelers? Yeah. I took all the skin off it, I cut it up, and I gave it a 20-minute boil. And then I just strained it through a grain bag. I didn't squeeze it, because I didn't want to get any of the tan. because pumpkin holds a little bit of tannin, bad tannin. So what I did to compensate it is I took 2 tea bags and I made in 1 cup of water, made a cup of tea with a dextrose and just tossed that in there. But yeah, no, I didn't use any extracts. What you do is use fresh pumpkin. A 20-minute boil will release the sugars in it, or the flavor. Really.
Did you roast it
There's
first?
really
Or
no fermentable sugars.
Did you roast them first, or was it full on just raw pumpkin?
Just raw pumpkin.
See, that's interesting
put it
too.
in,
Because that's not what many craft
not
breweries do.
fermentable.
Most of them roast it. So I mean, it's interesting because not
Yeah.
roasting it would
You know,
actually
Chad-
keep a lot more flavor.
No, Chad, you're right, because I've heard that, but I did it for the simple reason of probably laziness. But it actually,
I mean,
it actually
when
turned
you
out
roast the
good.
pumpkin, you take out so much of the flavor. So I'm actually kind of curious.
Yeah.
Not that pumpkin has a huge amount of flavor to begin with, but you take
No,
out a
it
lot of
don't.
it when you roast it.
And pumpkins ain't too fermentable, even if you're using pectolite to break them down. There's minimal sugars in pumpkins, but flavor aspect is totally there, especially when you put hops behind it.
Well, you could take a pumpkin and typically roast it for a bit, and maybe even doesn't that bring out a lot of flavors if you cook it, throw it in the oven, kind of get it caramelized a little bit?
Wow.
Well, it all matters what you're looking for, right? I've never actually had even the pumpkin beers I love. I've never had them use a actual raw pumpkin. I mean, you get more of the vegetation flavor out of it because you haven't caramelized anything in it.
Exactly, Chad. But see, it compensates the hops. I use 2,4 grains with it so you get the little caramel sweetnesses. But it compensates enough. It's very dry. It's not sweet. It's a very dry, almost it's almost like a hop cider type thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys follow me at all, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good.
My little hamster's going right now.
So next time you're in the Falls, Niagara Falls, you look me up and I'll give you a 6-pack of the shit to take home with you.
I won't. Nexus Pass. We're doing Nexus because it's so much cheaper. $50 each rather than $320 for the 2 of us. But it could take up to 6 months to get my Nexus, if they accept it. But seeing as I have an Ontario gaming license and everything else, there's no reason they wouldn't give me the Nexus Pass.
You could probably get that just living there, can't you?
Well, you have to apply for it, and then you have to go for interviews. You have to go for an interview at both countries, because both Canada and the U.S. have to okay you.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna.
Wow, since when?
I just don't want to eat it now.
It's just the way they've been doing it for a long time now. If I lived anywhere else, I could do the Canadian interview right away, but the Canadian interview is the one that you have to wait on the longest.
Yeah, that's like waiting for a handgun permit. Hey, Lee.
So I apparently have an entire order of beer from Devin, too, waiting for me. His brother has it. Who knows when else.
How good is this going to be?
I'm going to have the Guilty Conscience coming, which is Steve's double IPA, which actually worries me because the regular IPA is pretty blow your mind out already. So the double IPA scares me.
I'm all about the IPAs.
See, I'm all about the stouts myself, but
Yeah.
I can get behind a good IPA.
If they're done right, you know. I think IPAs nowadays are too overrated, and people are letting it go to their head because some of these companies. You know, I don't know if you guys ever drank from a Dundee brewery. Actually, not. I bought a seasonal pack for these Dundee Brewery IPAs. This is like the biggest joke that I ever opened with a bottle opener.
Well, Dundee's like a subsidiary of Genesee, aren't they?
Yeah, Rochester Brewery. Yeah. Are you from my area?
Who, me? No, I'm from New Brunswick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dundee is Genesee.
I've had Dundee products from Maine though before.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
The Dundee products are usually fine. They're just nothing special. They're usually, hey, look, this is what an IPA should taste like if you want the bare minimum watered down one.
Yeah, I look at it as like an intro to craft beers. Like if somebody's just coming
what
off
it is.
course and wanting to get into craft beers, that's like bottom line. But they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're cheap enough, if you're in a pinch.
Yeah, I bought a mixed pack of Dundee stuff when I was in Pennsylvania the first time I went down there, and it was an interesting beer. I mean, none of them were bad, but they weren't good either. They were just, hey, I'm Dundee.
I bought this last night, and it was only $8, so I couldn't go wrong. I mean, 12-pack, it was a joke. It was a seasonal pack.
Right, pack with like 5, 6. Was it 4 or 6 different beers? I think it's 4.
There's 4 in there. There's a porter, a pilsner, an IPA.
Even though if they're not that great.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't impressed, but it's better than buying a 6-pack of Red Dogs for the same price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. What did I buy when I was down there? I bought 2 2-4s because you could only buy in 2-4s back then. But I bought the Dundee mixed pack, and I bought a Pennsylvania brewery. They did an Amish wheat, and it was Amish wheat, strawberry wheat. Oh, I can't even remember it. I don't even know.
I don't even know. And that's my wheelhouse right there, Pennsylvania. I can't even think of breweries that make those styles.
Was that from Portsville?
No. I bought them in.
What part of PA? Do you know?
I was in Pottsville. I bought them after the Yingling.
If you're in Pottsville, it might have been something small like Penn Brewery, like something like really uber small. If you're out in Pottsville, because that's like Heroinville.
I know Yingling's got a brewery there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Yingling's Pottsville. That's Yingling. You know what I mean? But I don't think they make cherry beer or anything like that.
No, I never even heard of that. I would love to try it. Chad, was it good?
Oh, most of them were okay. I'm looking it up right now. Lancaster.
Oh, Lancaster. Yeah.
Man, that's like my back door. That's like 10 minutes from me.
Where do you live, Sammy?
I'm in Buffalo, but I'm real upstate. I'm real close to like Pennsylvania, Ohio.
Okay.
Where are you from?
Northeastern Pennsylvania, around Scranton.
Oh, Scranton. I'm real close to Scranton.
Yeah.
I could probably get to Scranton in an hour.
Damn.
Hour and a half, probably.
Okay.
You know, like where DuBois is?
What? No, I do not.
DuBois, PA, Erie. How far?
Yeah,
are you from
I know where Erie is because my buddy owns a tattoo shop out in Meadville.
Oh, okay, I know exactly where that's at. My aunt lives out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
By Breckton Street. Yep. Small world, bro.
Ethan's so quiet when he's here.
Yes. No, I'm just reading related beer news, that's all.
What are you reading?
Starbucks making a beer-flavored dark barrel latte.
Oh, wow, that sounds good, though.
Latte, wasn't it?
Little Bailey's in there.
But it's trying out. Says Starbucks is trying out their beer-flavored coffee drink dark barrel latte. Non-alcoholic, though.
You lost me. You lost me at none.
Yeah, that's like alcohol abuse.
Those are testing in Ohio, Florida, and Los Angeles. So.
Okay, winter is coming. He asked what the best beers from Ontario breweries were. I asked him to make it smaller, and he came out with Muskoka, Mill Street, Wellington, Camerons, and Lake of Bays. I think that's just to make fun of me because I've been harassing Lake of Bays. Okay, so
Lake of Bays.
Muskoka, for anybody that's had anything from Muskoka, what's your favorite beer from them? For me, it would be Winterbeard or the barrel-aged Winterbeard. Winterbeard being their double chocolate cranberry stout.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by the double Winterbeard, to be honest. It's very oddity.
Spring Oddity's good. I mean, Spring Oddity's really good, and this one was nice too. But I can't say it because I'm just pissed off with their current marketing scheme and their current business plan of we're going to release a small batch of this and hold half of it back so that we can age it and then sell a little bit of it next year for double the price and a little bit more of it the next year for triple the price and a little bit more of it the next year for that pisses me off.
Sometimes a little ingenious. It's money
Jed, do you own a bar?
The marketing scheme.
No, I don't own a bar.
Okay, because I always see you always got, when you guys are all hanging, I see you got like massive quantities of different kinds of booze and shit. I was just wondering.
Yeah, the two of these guys have been here. They've seen the massive.
Yeah, I figured maybe you owned a bar, and you always had it, as access. I see Lee and I are sharing a last name. He must be a long-lost cousin of mine there.
Possibly, yes. We were both kicked out of Scotland, probably.
My dad's 100% German.
Chad does not have an official bar. He has White's Tavern, but he has a lot of donations over the years from a lot of people, and you look in his fridge and you go, God damn, there's like 300 fucking beers in his fucking fridge.
I know. Mine used to be like that until I bought this house in the country, and then I get all these hillbillies over here and shit. My beer, they're drinking freaking craft beers I'm trying to save for. They find their way around the house, and where I homebrew, I got a wine because I make a lot of wine and ciders as well. So I put everything in this wine cellar I got. And they get down there drunk. Next thing I know, I'm looking at shit that I've been aging for 10 years or 8 years, and it's fucking gone, And I'm like the type of guy when I homebrew. I'm lucky if I can get through the 50 bottles that I get out of a 5-gallon batch, and let them carbonate, let alone age them. But hey, it's all good fun, right?
Yeah. Personally, with Muskoka, I think my favorite beer from them, at least their regular beers, is the Twice as Mad Tom. That's a pretty good one.
If I had the regular stuff, Detour.
I didn't like
I haven't
Detour.
had that one.
Detour is good, even though I'm not a big fan of the light IPAs.
I'm not a big fan of session IPAs.
You mean hoppy pale ales?
What?
To me, session IPAs are just like buying a Coors or an adjunct macro lager garbage.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? When you want an IPA, you want to be able to kick back with a 6-pack and at least get your head different, Session IPA is a food-colored Coors.
Okay. Mill Street. Best beer from Mill Street.
Tank House.
Oh,
Yeah, honestly, I'd say Tank House. Just for everyday drinking, Tank House, I'd go, yeah.
For Mill Street,
Coffee porter is pretty good.
Oh, the coffee porter is nice. I'd go vanilla porter or cobblestone stout myself.
Mill Street is the vanilla porter.
Yeah, the vanilla porter or the cobblestone stout would be mine. If we're going with just the normal core everyday lineup, probably Tank House or coffee porter.
Okay, are we asking best beer or just a beer we'd want to drink all the time?
He asked the best beer from the different Ontario craft breweries, and then I asked him to narrow that down because there's 110 craft breweries.
10 years.
Okay, maybe overall from Mill Street, perhaps their vanilla porter is probably the most amazing thing they've done, but I would still go Tank House as my number one from them.
Wellington?
The stout, Imperial Stout.
The Russian Imperial Stout, yeah, it is good. The Iron Duke is actually...
I've had that Imperial Stout. It's very expensive, though. I can't get it. I had it one time when I was in Fort Erie.
Oh, Fort Erie. Fart Erie. You're in Fart Erie.
My stomping ground, Jed?
Pardon me?
Is that your stomping ground, Fort Erie?
No.
I was going to say.
See, I had their Imperial Stout, was it a couple weeks ago for the first time, and I'm not as big of a stout guy as some of you guys are, but I absolutely hated it. I thought it was one of the worst stouts I ever had in my life. I don't know if it was just an old can or I just didn't like it, but...
Yeah.
You like it, you don't
Stouts
like
are good
it.
in the morning.
Maybe it's my stupid palate, I don't know.
The
Their IRS is good. Their Iron Duke is good. Right now, they have a barrel-aged Iron Duke, which is soured. It's I wish I could get my hands on it. They actually have 3 beers that are still in their fridge from their 29th anniversary, and they're all interesting beers. But their chocolate milk stout is okay. But yeah, of their regular stuff, I'd probably say Iron Duke or the RIS.
Yeah, I can't even really comment on it. Like I think the only beer I've had from Wellington is the Imperial Stout that you sent
Okay,
me today.
here's one most of you have had then, except for the American guys. And we're just trying to get this question out for the
Oh, all of a
Americans.
sudden I'm in the racial category now. Thanks, Chad.
Oh yeah, we're all
Keep
racist.
looking out, brother.
Cameron's Brewing Company. What's their best beer?
What brewing company?
Cameron's.
The RPA.
Their Deviator Doppelbock.
The regular or the barrel aged?
They're pretty good.
Jesus Christ. If you get me in pinch, I'll say the barrel aged, but either way, I'd say they're both equally as good.
I forgot about the barrel aged Deviator Doppelbock. That was really good too.
Good.
Speaking of barrel aged, I was very unimpressed. I bought a case of Founders Old Dirty Bastard, and it was like barrel aged. I gave it away. I was totally unimpressed with it. Have you guys, Chad, have you tried the Founders Old Dirty Bastard yet?
No.
Oh, I don't know for sure.
I think Chad did. I think Chad did a review on it.
Yeah,
I think I might have.
I had that last year. I was kind of unimpressed with
You
it,
were
too.
with Booberry. You were, yeah. Paulie was there.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, is Paul still making cider?
Yes, he still makes cider. Just rare now.
Has he got it down? Is it good stuff?
He makes a lot better than he did originally, yeah.
Because I know that first stuff, and I seen your review on it. I was laughing.
Yeah, no, he didn't know what he was doing then. Yeah. For me, from Cameron's, probably. Now I'm biased on this, and I do still have like 9 bottles of it, and it's the only 9 bottles left that I know of. The Obsidian Porter.
I knew what you were gonna say.
Yeah, the Obsidian Porter, the RPA, and the Deviator Doppelbock. All my favorite stuff.
I gotta go Deviator though. Like that is a class above everything else I've had.
And then, as I said, the last one he put out there was Lake of Bays.
Lake of Bay. I have no idea. I've never had anything.
Probably, I think their 10-point IPA was probably the best one from that.
Yeah. I gotta say 10 points pretty good, and so was the Mocha Porter.
You know what? Actually, one of the NHL ones was really good. It was the Cujo. The Cujo Golden Ale was actually pretty good. I have Jake the Snake in the fridge, and I'm scared of drinking it.
You know, what the hell did I have from them? Cameron's. I was LA IPA or Cali IPA. It was a yellow label. I think it was a California IPA.
Their main brands is Lager, Dark 260.
No, that was a seasonal. That was their California APA.
Oh, the California Sunshine.
I had one of them, and I liked it. I can't get them here, and I got that from Andy. He sent it to me.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good.
I liked it. Beer. Did you like it, or?
Yeah, it was okay.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't their other stuff. It wasn't as good as what they normally make, but yeah, it was okay.
My favorite IPAs are usually, actually now my favorite IPAs are usually the Pyramid, or I love that. I love the Southern Tier Brewery IPA. I think that's hands down the best.
See,
Session's good though too.
Lagunitas can do nothing wrong in my eyes. Like all their IPAs are fantastic for me.
From who?
That Lagunitas, out of California. They have a brewery in California, but then they distribute out of I think Michigan too. Lagunitas, super over the top hops, but a really nice malty.
You know, Lagunitas is actually one of the first ones where I had super hoppy beers that I actually really enjoyed.
That's me too. I mean, like besides like a 120 or something over the top. Like Lagunitas, almost every Lagunitas beer I have that's an IPA, I like.
I enjoy Hop Stupid. No, you can get Lagunitas stuff in your area. Go to Amherst. Go to Premier Gourmet. They have shit tons of Lagunitas products.
Right down in Tonawanda?
Amherst.
Yeah, right up there. Okay, off of Sheridan.
Yeah, Premier Gourmet. They have shit tons of Lagunitas stuff.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I like Victory. I like the Hop Devil. That's a great beer.
In my area, you get a lot of Victory. I mean, in PA, Victory, and then a big one in my area, which is really nice, but people blow up over it, is Trogue's Nugget Nectar. That's a big one. I don't know if any of you guys ever had that one.
I have. It wasn't
Their
actually horrible.
Perpetual's pretty good.
It's all right. I mean, it's like people blow up over that, but I mean.
Actually,
like,
Ethan, I never asked you. Where are you in the U.S.?
Northeast Ohio. Right near Youngstown, about an hour away from Cleveland. So.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
actually.
he's close to me as well. He's about 3 hours from where I'm at.
Yeah, not that far.
So he's like 3 hours and 15 minutes from where I'm at. Well,
know,
5 hours once you cross the bridge, you know.
Where you guys?
Customs.
I was gonna say, speaking of Trogues, they just had their Java Head. It was pretty good.
The Java Head Stout, or
Yeah.
Trogues makes really nice beers. They, nothing crazy over the top, fantastic, unless you get like their little small, they call scratch stuff that they put out from their brewery. Like
Yeah,
you have to go and get it. But
Yeah, don't they have a Belgian too? A Belgian.
Le Grave, it's a Belgian Golden Triple.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That was nice. But if you go to the actual brewery, they do a lot of like a crazy amount of one-off stuff. Like we're talking like a 3 or 4 a month. They're releasing these.
Right.
Like I said, they call it scratch brews, to where it's just like all this great stuff. They're up and coming. They're really nice. Victory's cool too. I mean, the Oak Horizontal is really nice. It's American barley wine.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it's a nice beer.
This is one for you.
I think it's good as well.
Matt, this one's for you.
What's that, Chad?
What is it?
Can you read that?
No, I can't.
It is
Pittsburgh?
from Pittsburgh
Iron
Brewing
City?
Company.
What is that, Iron City?
Yeah.
It is the 1979 Pittsburgh Steelers beer.
There it is.
Oh, man.
The super Steelers.
Yeah? Is it nice and rusty?
Oh yeah.
Is that unopened?
Unopened.
That means it's better. You should drink that right now. Pound it.
No.
Yeah, pound it down.
Oh wait.
Yeah. Come on.
You ready for this?
Shotgun that son.
Come on, shotgun it.
Anyone that watches this
Come
channel
on, you gotta
knows
get
that I'm
nothing but
stupid.
drunk off it.
Everybody that watches this channel knows that I'm stupid and will do things like drink super aged beers.
I'll
First
do it
off,
too.
there is this. Okay. I don't know if you can see the chunks floating in there, but there's this. And what this is one of the original Labatt 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, what year is that from? Holy fuck!
I will drink that with you, man. Like,
Okay,
I
you
would
come
totally
the next
drink
time
that.
you're around, we will drink that together.
listen, I'm an aged beer-aholic, man. Like, aged beer is my fucking gig. I will drink anything. I don't care if it's gonna poison me or kill me. I don't care.
I'm the same way,
It's
bro.
good.
I have a box. There's a box of beer right there that's all from like the early 70s to late 80s, and it's all macro stuff, and it's just there's stuff that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yes. Yes. Just call the ambulance before you even start pounding them. Just shotgun a
Probably
bunch.
Jello. Just cut the can
I
in half,
won't. I'm not
out.
completely stupid. I won't open the cans because I know some of these cans have stuff in them that isn't good for me. Put
It's
the
called
bottle
lead.
in. Yeah,
It's called
well,
lead.
yes. I didn't want to go into that, but yeah, there's stuff in those 70s cans that I shouldn't ingest. That's okay.
Use a straw, bro. Just...
It's just the fact that it's been touching it for 40 years, well, 30, 34, that worries me.
That's when you snort it, and when you snort it, it's okay.
No,
It
but-
bypasses the liver.
But Chad, next fucking beer fest, there should be a night where we just do exclusively beers from that catch of old traditional.
Well, like I
beers.
said, I want you guys to stay on the Sunday because the Sunday is my actual birthday. We'll do it on the Sunday.
Yeah,
This
that'd
Sunday?
be cool.
I got some aged Jenny Cream ales with the old bale tabs still
The
on
pull tabs?
Yep. I got
Sweet.
6 of them.
Here,
Hey,
1 second.
my
I'm going to pull the
son,
box
guys,
over and
come
pull out
up
some
in here
beers.
and I'll drink them one night. We'll all get sick together, bro. The cans don't even sound like they shake anymore. They're real heavy. It's like probably cut them in half and eat them with a spoon.
well, speaking of old beers, I have this for us to drink next time I'm up.
Ooh, the Alpine.
It's like early 1980s Alpine. I don't know how old this is.
Oh, fuck.
You know
Well, that's
what?
at least a bottle you could see in it. Is
What's-
it clear?
Well, okay, everybody, what's the oldest beer everybody has and within arm's
Your Alpine
reach?
isn't as old as my
I
Alpine.
have 70s Jenny Cream Ale.
Eh?
76.
Your Alpine isn't as old as my Alpine.
Not in house. I'm talking within arm's reach.
Oh.
Yeah, within arm's reach. Fuck,
Yeah.
let's see what I have
Well,
here.
not
I
you,
have
Chad.
liquor.
That's-
I have liquor that's pretty old, but not here in arm's reach. But
Yeah, I got a 3-month-old beer. That's about it.
See, I love old beer. I just have a ton of it laying around.
Really old schooner? Anyone want?
Here, I
really
got
old
some
schooner?
aged moonshine I made 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's the Alpine.
I got
Those
a.
Alpines are like
Hey,
relics.
hey! Buffalo Bills. We're talking proud.
Buffalo Bills fucking suck. They lost their ass the other night. Only time I buy tickets for the game and they lost their ass.
This was a 6-pack for $1.79 to tell you how old this was.
Your liver wouldn't even redeem that for a buck.
It's my my hardiness getting the best of me. What do we got there? It's an 05.
Fuck your 2005 Hardee's. Look what I have.
Moosehead. I'll tell you, Moosehead's a great beer.
Moosehead.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Moosehead Pale Ale in the stubby.
I could get those here, but they're a lot newer looking bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, if you see those, you might want to steer clear.
Or oh yeah. How about some Schaefer?
Nice.
Or Hamilton Mountain. This hasn't existed in forever.
You know that's just poison.
Man, you guys got all this old school. I wouldn't even have that
Original
shit
Labatt
even sit
Blue.
around my house. I'd be drinking it.
Original Labatt Blue.
Oh man.
Blue
What is that?
cheese.
Probably gonna be blue, yeah.
What's
Oh.
what's the average ABV on all those? Probably like 3.2.
3.9.
This is 5.
3.8.
Oh.
I'm guessing 5 if it's just like traditional Canadian stuff.
Because Ronald was here, I should have shown him this. Because this is actually a clear bottle. It's a clear bottle. Look at the color after the clear bottle.
Miller High Life. I can already see it.
Miller High Life.
Whoa. What
Looks
is
like dirty
going on in that
bath water.
fucking bottle? Holy shit.
Drink that before you go for lower GI.
Me and you are going to drink this.
Oh, I will drink anything with you, dude. No matter what. But Jesus
I want to
Christ.
see you drink. You guys would be both ready for surgery after drinking a bottle of that. It's like getting a lower GI right there.
Hey.
You'd be madder than a midget with a yo-yo. Yeah, man, that's just way too cloudy.
Oh, look, another Pittsburgh Steelers one from 1980. This time.
Whoa.
Oh. Casey's beer. Some baseball beer.
Man, Chad, that's some rare shit right there, that can. Do you know the history behind those cans?
Nope.
That brewery, actually, the names that are on those cans, if you look at them, and I guess they pre-introduced them like a year later, everything changed. The names have changed on the labels, like the spellings. Chad, I don't know. I don't know if I could send it. You're not on my Facebook, are you?
I don't believe so.
Well, add me on there. Man, I also got to send you some of this pumpkin beer because it's pretty fucking good, and I kegged it up last night, and I'll send you a 6-pack of it. Now, you get beer shipped to you, right? What's the trick? Because I've never shipped beer for beer trades and anything. What's the trick, guys? You just got to mark it through customs as something else, right?
Well, where are you? You're in Canada or America?
I'm in Buffalo, New York. I'm right on the Canadian border. I'm 5 minutes.
Okay. If you're sending stuff to Canada, the biggest thing is because if you're sending across country, you actually have to list the contents of your package, right?
Can I list this makeup or
no?
shampoo or?
The best ones are to
Snow
go
globes.
with are snow globes or
Olive oil.
something like that.
Okay.
Lava lamps also works. Because basically what that does is it tells the customs people that you have glass in your package and you have
There's
liquid. And
Now,
so
will I get in trouble if they happen to open it up? I mean,
Nah.
Not like
No,
I'm gonna go to jail or nothing.
the
right?
worst-
What they'll
no,
do is
the-
they'll just confiscate it.
Yeah, the worst they'll have
Okay.
will confiscate it. But for the most part, what they will do, even if something breaks in your package, they'll package it up and still send it along the way. Like,
What do
for
I
the
have
most
here?
part,
I
that's
have,
what they do.
I
Okay.
have a Monty Irvin.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And you know what? And Lee, definitely hit me up on Facebook as well or somewhere, and I'll send you guys some of this. I got no problem with sending you guys a couple bottles of this this pumpkin IPA because, to be honest with you, I want Chad to do a review on it. Just for shits and giggles, you know. 'Cause,
Oh. Here's another one.
What
Yeah.
the? James, is that James Reddy or something?
No, this is J.R. Ewings. I guess it could be James Reddy. I don't know.
J.R. Ewing? So is that like Dallas?
Dallas.
Yeah. J.R. Ewing, who shot him?
It says on here, if you have to ask how much my beer costs, you probably can't afford it.
Chad,
Yeah,
pound
so
that
that's
bottle, bro. Pound it.
so-
Open a can up and jam it down.
So
No.
wait, Chad, is that actually connected to the JR like Dallas? Is that a
It's probably just an advertising thing. They recently just released a bourbon that had J.R. Ewing on it.
Yeah, I don't. It says it's from Pearl Brewing Company in San Antonio, Texas.
because
Never
like
heard of
Larry Hagman's dead now?
Oh, right under here it says J.R. Ewing's design.
Oh,
From
okay.
Texas,
Yeah,
so
okay.
yeah,
So,
it's connected.
yeah, they're definitely going for that Dallas thing.
Was it? Yeah, I was gonna say, Lee. I think it's in cahoots with the Dallas show. That
Yeah.
TV show.
Copyright 1979.
Whoa, Jesus Christ!
Hard cider.
The old school Dallas show.
Fuck. 79.
Oh,
That
fuck.
was a baby there.
Kick-ass dogfish shirt, brother.
JR might not have been shot, but anyone who fucking drinks that shit might have felt like it afterwards.
Or been shot in the process, is it?
Yeah.
Take a shot.
I'd rather be shot in the process, probably.
Tuborg Gold.
Oh, God.
Holy shit! How old's that bottle? Holy fuck!
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Damn,
There's
that
no-
shit's heavy. That's probably older than I am.
I think bad things about opening that bottle. Holy shit!
That's the beauty of it. You open it, you have to guess what year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Euro.
so what is this? All show and no go. Pop one of them open and jam it down. Come on,
Players?
you're a big guy. Pound it down. You're a player.
Nothing says tasty like a 70-year-old Pilsner.
Olympia
How
Gold?
is this player like a 70-year-old Pilsner and an albino? Jam it down, Chad. Come on, bro. Put it in the freezer. We'll get back to you in 5 minutes.
10 penny?
No shit. You got a 10 penny?
9-pound hammer right there.
I don't even know. Did they even sell 10 a penny anymore?
No.
I haven't seen that. You guys, I must be the young one out of the bunch here.
Old Labatt product from way back when.
Yeah, because that was like a Labatt regional purchase or something like that, where they basically like the same thing Molson does with regional brands. Like 10 penny was a brand at some point, and Labatt
Was
Brew.
it Molson?
No, I think Labatt Brew bought them up.
Yeah,
But
macro.
the last time I saw 10 penny was like in the early 2000s, and I haven't seen it since.
I never even seen the label or nothing.
It was like all black label, like fucking cases and shit.
How about some
Wow.
American champagne?
Champagne, thank you very much.
Megan?
I actually dated this one by its code on it, and this is 1978.
So when do you plan on drinking it? If you're coding it, when you gonna drink it, bro?
Don't know.
I don't know.
That is gonna be a night of
That's probably a night of
massive shits and throwing up.
destruction.
Massive shit reviews.
Yeah, pretty much.
Either that, or he'll get a bunch of bitches up at the house, and Chad will leave them looking like they just got blindsided by a fucking mayonnaise truck. Gives him a couple sips of that shit, and he'll get his pigment back then. Chad, I'm just fucking with you, brother. Cheers, man.
No, I have a bunch of the empty old bottles right over there. That's where all the. Ooh.
And there it goes.
Oh.
Oh!
Like the worst bottle on there, the worst one that I ever drank that's up there is the 1996 Sam Adams Triple Bock.
One of my I got a case of 1997 Triple Bock, and it's one of my favorite beers.
Don't forget we drank the Super Buck.
That was good. The Labatt Super Bock?
Yeah.
Yeah. That held up from what 1983, 84? What was?
Yeah, it was like early 80s.
Yeah.
A lot of these old brews, Matt, worry me because I don't know how they were stored. That's the big thing. The Super Bock came to me from a friend of mine owned a bar, and he was cleaning out his fridge, and he found a bunch of really, really old coolers and beers and stuff, and he handed them to me, and we drank all those. But like the Super Bock, the cork was rotting.
But I mean, you hated the Sam Adams Triple Bock. You hated it.
Oh yeah, it was soy sauce.
I'm telling you, if it's contained well, it's a fantastic beer.
Yeah, like these ones here, all the ones in this box came from a friend of mine. His dad died, and he just brought me the box. He goes, "This was all in my dad's basement."
So none of them were good. You cracked a couple, or
I haven't cracked anything in this box.
Okay, because I got a case. I got 2 cases of it last year, of the 97. Actually, it's 94, 95, and 97. I think it is, but whatever it is, I got the 97 iteration of it, and I've cracked about like 5 of them, and one of them was bad. I mean, you can never get the cork out of any of them. That's never going to happen ever. But 5 out of like the 6 that I've cracked or whatever it was were good. So it's like luck of the draw, but if you get a good one, it's fucking good.
Matthew,
really
do you
good.
homebrew?
No, I do not.
No.
I'm
very knowledgeable on stuff. You know, I've been brewing for about 10 years, and you seem very knowledgeable on the aspects of the quality of your judgments and stuff. So
I have a couple friends that do homebrew, and I've watched them do stuff. I'm way too anal and way too neurotic to the point where I'm like,
homebrewing, ain't you?
Yeah, I brew.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, you never did nothing with it?
I've helped friends do it. I've never done it by myself. At my house by myself, I've never done it.
Right.
But yeah.
I just thought you're so knowledgeable on shit like that. Yeah, quality's done. I was you guys were talking about that. I got a couple homebrew experiments, small 1-gallon batches. I'm trying to do a black apple IPA that I'm doing right now, and I'm going to call it the Loch Ness Monster. And I'm doing it with molasses, DME. I'm using, I think, a 1-gallon batch. I put an ounce of Citra, and I put an ounce of Simcoe. And I did that in the boil, and then I'm going to dry hop it. But I want to send you guys some fucking booze.
How many people out there, out of everybody listening right now, makes their own beer on a regular?
I like drinking it more than making it.
I make my own, and I've been doing it for a few years now, and I have Lee's had some, Rhino's had some.
Yeah, what Dale does is he purposely makes a beer that's going to explode all over you, and he sends it to you.
Well, I will say,
here's my pineapple beer.
No,
Do this on camera for me.
No, stop. Dale never made a beer that exploded all over me. He made awesome beers that I drank, but he never made an awesome beer that exploded over me. So you are the exception to the rule, sir, and you should stop complaining, is what I think you should do.
Dale, that's all good, bro, because I've made beers that are the best, and I just over-prime the bottles, and they explode all. Hey,
exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened to the pineapple pale ale that Chad had.
Well, the thing is Chad didn't realize
bottles like that.
Yeah, what the thing is, Chad didn't realize is that the real name of that beer was Pineapple Explosion, and he didn't take it to heart. That's all that happens to it. That's all there is to it.
Speaking of pineapple, guys, I'm real not close to my brew room. I'm at the barn by my house, but I'm gonna go grab something real quick and show you guys. I'm doing 5 gallons of pineapple banana, and I used 2 4 grains in it. It's gonna be like a lager, and I'm gonna dry hop it. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna show you the cardboard. 1 minute.
But before I forget, Chad, did you said you had in what year the triple bock?
The 96 is what we drank.
Okay, and you said how many of those do you have?
That was the only one we did.
I thought you said you had a case of it, like a bunch.
No. I had 2 boxes brought to me. I had one box of just random stuff from a bar fridge that was in the bottom of the bar fridge for.
Oh, okay.
And then I had this box that I was pulling stuff out of is the box from my friend's dad.
There it is, guys.
Oh, I got you. I was gonna say like we could, if you had a bunch of them, I'd do a trade for the ones I had.
I
like,
wish I had a box
but-
because I would do a trade about that.
Yeah.
So pineapple banana I did. Starting gravity was 1.050. I used a Simcoe hop on the boil. I'm lagering it right now in the air conditioned chamber, but I'm gonna dry hop it. It's banana pineapple.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna make an IPA out of it, and it's look at the
awesome.
problem. I used Nottingham ale yeast, and I like the Nottingham ale yeast because it cuts out. I started this at 1.050, and if I bring it down right, it should be about 8%.
What kind of hops are you dry hopping with?
I'm gonna dry hop it probably with either Citra or Simcoe. I have some Centennials in the freezer. I was gonna do it with, but I don't want to waste them on this because I did a 1-gallon batch of this and it was awesome. So then I went and did. Actually, I got 2 5-gallon batches of this going right now.
You use real grapefruit and banana, or flavoring, or what?
Straight fruit. Look at the sediment at the bottom. This is after a 3rd racking.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's this is 3 months ago I made this. Now I'll rack it again now off this. Then I'll put some Camden tablets in it, maybe some potassium sorbate, bring it back down, stabilize it, and then I'm just going to bottle it.
How long you keep it in Caribou, and then secondary it in what?
Well, I keep it in the primary went on this one, I think it went 10 days, racked into a secondary, went another 14 days, and then in this one, it's been in for 6 days.
Oh, okay.
Popped out. Nothing added, no chemicals, no nothing.
Nice.
But yeah, thanks guys. That's
The banana's interesting.
Yeah, that's
man.
the interesting part. There is the banana.
Yeah, banana's really good. The trick with banana is you want to ferment it cold. If you ferment banana too hot, you're going to get a hot flavor, and it's almost going to have a salty taste. Banana is very picky when you come to ferment it. You're doing like what I got in here is I got 12 pounds of bananas. In this, when I mashed out each 5 gallons, I used,
I've noticed that, Mike, with almost any banana beer, it's like you always get it on the nose, but you never get it in the flavor. So it seems like
you know what the trick is with that, Matt? You know what it is?
What?
You gotta when you do your boil, put your peels and everything in. Everything.
I got you.
Keep the peels in there, and then when they go into the primary, make sure you got at least like 10 or 15 peels. I'll take and throw them in there, right in the bucket. Because what I'll do is, when you're doing the banana, you got to ferment it in the bucket for 3 days. Let it foam up, stir it every day, and then rack it into your, what I call a primary. The 3 days I look at as nothing. That's just getting your fermentation going. And I used a lot of raisins, and then I took the juice from 2 oranges, and I just... But it's starting to clear up, and it ain't even freaking in the 3rd yet,
Ooh. I was going to say, the more brown the bananas get, I figured the more sweeter it would be, but...
Banana's tricky to work with.
Yeah, pretty sensitive fruit, I guess.
Yeah, it's a very sensitive fruit. It's like, well, there's pineapples in that as well, so...
I got a sensitive fruit.
Yeah, me too. It's been itching me for days, man.
I tell you, me too. Mine grew legs on it, and it leaves at night. Then I get a stomach cramp when it comes in the morning. Really fucked up, man, guys.
Well, 7 a.m. to bring my kid to school comes soon. So if any viewers have any last-minute questions, throw them out. Tomorrow I'll probably do another quick one of these. The punter, the puntette, the cartoon, and the Cantankerous Cook are supposed to come out with some beers tomorrow, so they might be here behind me harassing you guys before we do some reviews while we wait for the beers to warm up. Yeah. Anyone on the panel have anything they want to talk about before we go?
Chad, I had a blast, man. Thanks for letting me come in. Thank you,
Oh,
bro.
that's great. Actually, I was going to say all three of our newcomers, other than Ethan, who hasn't said much tonight.
Oh, sorry.
It's been great. But
well, actually, yeah, I got a question. It might sound like a dumb question, but how long has Sam Adams been?
Yes.
How long has Sam Adams been making their Boston Lager in cans now?
Ooh.
I mean, I never noticed it, but like when I walked in the store the other day, I saw this.
They had the cans that had the pull-up top at all those stadiums for a while now. But yeah, this is the first time. This is the first time I've actually seen the Boston Lager in single-serve cans at my LCBO too.
Yeah,
we've always had the six-pack of bottles, but I've never seen the cans until now.
I don't drink cans of stuff, but it seems like cans are the new like. Not to piss on Sam Adams or anybody, but it seems like the new go-to hipster thing. Like everybody's pushing cans like crazy.
Well, it's sociably acceptable because we could take them to sports events, concerts. They don't want glass bottles, you know.
Well, not just that, but I also think it's real estate. It's advertising. There's so much advertising real estate on there that I think that a lot of people are going to invest in it because, I mean, light-wise, all that stuff's fine, but real estate, they can advertise their asses off. So I think they're going to see a huge push on cans.
It's like the new IPA fad or the...
Well, I mean, the big companies that do it are like
or the pumpkin flavor.
Oscar Blues, do you know what I mean? Who else?
Yeah,
21st Amendment.
Yeah, a part of it, like, cans are better than bottles for some reasons, and breweries are taking advantage of the hype surrounding cans.
A big thing with cans is that there's a lot of benefits you can say for them, but the biggest benefit for a brewer, especially a craft brewer, is the price. Yeah. A canning line costs less than a bottling line. Cans themselves, a six-pack of cans costs them 42 cents.
And shipping. Like, it's a stackable...
Yeah.
Like it's uniformly shippable. You know what I mean?
Like, there is...
like Nickelbrook. Nickelbrook gave me the breakdown. They're like, if I make a six-pack of cans, the packaging costs me 42 cents. If I make
bottles cost?
A six-pack of bottles cost them $2.50.
Oh, that's a huge difference.
It should way less too.
Especially in quantity.
I mean, with aluminum and glass.
Yeah, there is a profound difference between shipping a truckload of cans compared to a truckload of bottles.
So that's why breweries do that then? That's why they're doing it? Just for the cost effect?
No. Another reason is the fact that it preserves the beer better than bottles does. Like
that and the hipster quotient. Like you can't underestimate the cans are cool because
no.
Matt, it might be appealing to another market too. I mean,
Matt is correct. There's a lot of breweries that are capitalizing on the fact that a lot of people are saying, "Oh, cans are better. Cans are awesome." So breweries are capitalizing on that trend that our brewery does cans. Our brewery is awesome. It does cans, so you should buy our beer. So that is an aspect to it. But at the same time, there's actually truth behind it.
Lee, do you really think cans preserve better? Lee, seriously?
Yes, I do. Yes.
It's all about light.
Yeah,
light and oxidization. You do not get any oxidization through a can.
Yeah, but
that and I heard. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, I'll go ahead. The other thing I heard was also recycling purposes. When you're going to crush a can, you're talking about, you know what I mean, this much of space, whereas opposed to a bottle, you have this much of space. So there's something about kickbacks from breweries and recycling and all that stuff. I forget who I heard that from, but
I don't give a fuck about the recycling. I just want to know how the beer's going to taste.
I'm talking about from a company from monetary, like as far as them shipping and them returning.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Profit margins.
Yeah.
To me, I felt like this tasted better in the can than it did in the bottle, but that's
I've
just my
never seen
opinion.
Samuel Adams in the can.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
I've never.
Where are you from?
Northeast Ohio.
So you're out by us. I don't even get them here.
Although I will say, that being said, I still prefer, like, just for aesthetic reasons, I still like bottles compared to cans. I mean, I know in my mind that cans are better for preserving the beer, keeping light strike out and things like that, but at the same time, I like a really good bottle. Like I really do. Like I gravitate towards it. I really do. So
Yeah.
When you're scanning a shelf of beer, you almost skip past cans sometimes.
Yes.
That's how I
Well,
do.
That's why when I
I
was
cans on the craft beer
Old Man Murray.
label, you know.
That's why I figured this was out for a long time, and I just never noticed it. I mean, I rarely ever pick up Sam Adams, but
It's like how you look at a list of countries. When you get to like Asia, you just skip over all of Asia.
Right.
It's like that with cans almost.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I was about to say your name is Old Man Murray, and you got your nice Tiku glass. You're Old Man Murray, you got your Tiku glass out on the table, and you're going to be showcasing your beer. So you pour your beer into a Tiku glass. Say these are both the same. Say they're both the same beers, right? So you're Old Man Murray. Which one of these do you want to have sitting beside your glass? It's going to be this.
I had to look for something in a can. The only thing I have in a can,
Oh yeah.
something somebody left here on the weekend. Hey, I haven't had these yet. Have you guys had these?
Yeah, you can
Black
keep
Crown,
your
yeah.
glass.
Crown. I was gonna do a Labatt,
Plug my nose.
L'Oreal Light, and Bud Light Platinum side to side to see if I could tell the difference between the two.
Hey, your light beer one was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
See, you know what? When I
Is
was
this
young,
worth me drinking?
I'll tell you what though.
A good beer from a can. The old
That's the
show.
only one I haven't had yet. Only
That's
one.
a good.
I've had that in a bottle.
That's a good beer from a can, man.
Yeah,
I've
about
had that in a
Albinos?
bottle, and it's
I just
awesome.
had the Gubna. That was really good.
I've never
Yeah,
had
yeah.
anything from Oscar Blues that wasn't good.
The Alchemist?
I've never had Monster Blue.
see, when I'm at the LCBO, there's
Yeah.
just about, if I see something in a can, because it's so cheap, it's almost guaranteed I will buy it. Whereas if a bottle is, $6, $7, $8, I might sort of go back and check reviews on it to see if it's worth trying or not. Because when something costs $2.50 a can, it's hard to go wrong with it, even if it's not that good.
I
Well,
agree.
that's what I mean. Old Chub. You're talking about what is a regular 12-ounce can. A 6-pack of these in my area are $10 for Scotch ale. A
That's
rich,
worth
deep Scotch ale. I mean, that's
You
fantastic.
look at bottles, right? You look at the price of stuff. 7 cents for this container, like 50 cents for this container, 2 something for the 750s. Like your price is just exponentially going up with each different container you buy.
Well,
You're
and
right, Chad.
the thing about bottles as well is that you basically have a choice. There's really no for the most part, there's no such thing as small single bottles. You either buy the bombers, which are $6, $7, $8 each, or you buy a 6-pack of something. Whereas cans, usually you can just buy a single. You can try it out. If you like it, you buy more. If you don't like it, you
What
never
are
have to
the-
buy it again.
Don't they have beer out there? It's only like, I think, whatever the less 12-ounce, like 6-ounce bottles or 8-ounce bottles, but they come in an 8-pack. I don't remember. I can't remember what it was
I
called,
don't think
but
so.
The Cranberita and the Limerita and all that.
The Melville's beers come in 4-pack, and they're pretty small. But
Little Kings.
yeah, that's what it is. Little Kings. That's it right there.
Yep.
We get the
Those are awesome.
I looked at
Aritas.
that. I was like, what the hell is that?
Man, those are awesome, though, bro. They're good. Did you try them?
They're like beer for little babies.
Kids probably had Little Kings. And all you guys probably had them.
Yeah,
It's a cream
I've
ale.
seen them. Yeah.
We don't get it up here. But we do in small cans. You can get Molson Canadian cold shots and what's the Bud version? That's the Bud cold shots and what's the Anheuser-Busch one? Come on, you Canadians know this.
the
I can't remember what the fuck it is.
The Bud shot.
Bud Shot. Yeah, Bud Shot, I think is.
But see, the Budweiser brewery where you guys are, it's a different brewery, right? I think they got a different brewery in Canada for Budweiser.
Well, they brew at Labatt's breweries in Canada.
Okay, so you guys are getting the Molson run of brewers.
Oh,
Yeah,
good Labatt run.
and the thing is, it's like, okay, we will review the Labatt version of Budweiser that comes here or whatever, and people go, oh, well, you're not drinking the real Budweiser, and I've had the real Budweiser compared to the Canadian, and the difference, it ain't all that big, man. It really isn't. There is
I've
no
noticed
significant.
it.
There is a difference, but it's not significant to the point where I'd
I
say.
think Canada's brewing them better than we are. I'll be honest with you.
I think the whole argument of the difference, how noticeable it is, matters how much you drank that beer beforehand. I mean, Moosehead, I drank Moosehead quite a lot here in Canada. As soon as I bought the one in the U.S., which was brewed in Canada, but brewed for the U.S. market, I could tell the difference.
It's not
And
the same
I didn't
brew,
believe. I thought.
You thought blank.
And we did a blind taste test, and yeah, you could tell the difference between the Canadian one and the one brewed in
Oh, I
Canada
totally
for the
could.
U.S. market.
Yeah, I like Moosehead.
I love Moosehead.
Yeah, the American-made Moosehead, I think, is a lot worse than the Canadian one. At least from
It
my
is.
experience.
It is. I agree with you.
I don't think the U.S. Moosehead is made in the States. I think it's made here as well.
Yeah, it's made there. It's made by
It tastes
Moosehead.
different.
It's made for Moosehead USA, but it's made in Canada.
Yeah, made in St. John here.
But
They
it
must,
tastes
they must do
different.
something different with it because it tastes different.
I agree with you.
I think it's the
agree with
thing.
you, bro. It
I mean,
does.
both the the U.S. food inspections and the Canadian food inspections have different things you're allowed to use. So I think they just cheapen down to whatever they're allowed to use in the U.S.
Tailored different
recipe.
So, like in Canada, is beer like in America? Most beers like the macro beer is sake. You know what I mean? Is it like that in Canada, or is
Right.
it like?
The bud
Right.
is still 49% rice, but for the most part, what you're getting with Molson stuff is usually corn.
Corn and rice.
What you're getting with normal Labatt products, not Bud products, is mostly high fructose corn syrup.
So pick your poison.
Yeah, pretty much.
If it gets me drunk, it's my poison.
Well, no, if it gets you drunk, it is poison. It's all poison, technically.
We can sit here and talk craft beer all night. When it all comes down to it, if I got $6 in my pocket, I'm buying fucking Natty Ices.
Natty Ice by the 40.
And I'll plug my nose and drink them down. I used to be at that point. But see, I do a lot of home brewing, so I always got beer there.
You know, it's an interesting thing when you think about it. Just the things you're allowed to put in beer. I mean, the list of things you're allowed to put in.
Well,
beer.
that's why they mark a lot of beers as ales to take that Texas law. You know, because in Texas, a beer can't be sold above 5%. So anything above 5% can be put in ale. Like prime example, even these, like if you guys go by like Third Shift is a prime example. It says ale. It's a beer, but it's above the 5% alcohol level. So in Texas, I guess they got to put an ale on the can in order to sell it.
I don't know. I just when they prevent me from putting my wiener in my beer, then I'm upset.
When they prevent you from putting your wiener in your beer.
Yeah.
Salty.
Yeah.
He's upset about
Is that
that.
what you got to use to stir it?
Smells a little bit like bleach. I don't know.
Bleach. Is that when it rains real good in Matt's yard, you find him rolling around poking holes in the mud? This is for my beer. He's poking holes in the mud. Man, I'm just joking with you, brother.
Oh no, I got it, man.
With you guys, man.
All right, Joe, I'm gonna bow out. Have a good night.
And yeah, have a good night, Lee. I
See you
got
later,
to run
brother.
as well. I have to get up at 7 a.m. with my son, so I gotta go to bed.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Chad.
Thank you all for coming. Hope
Yeah, thank you, bro.
I hope
Yeah,
Ethan
thanks for
gets
having me
more more comfortable on camera and speaks more. Matt, it was great to have you. You're all everybody's invited anytime they want to
Well,
come.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
thanks,
start-
man. You got to send me the invite so I know, and I'll hang out with you guys. But thank you guys so much. You guys all been great. All have a great week, and
Yeah,
great to spill some beers with you.
I had a quick question. Like, this is the second time I've gone on, and like, is it pretty much just asked to come on? Is that how it works, or is it just
Yeah,
like?
me too. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I basically do an open invite. I usually just invite my circles, period, and whoever comes.
Which you did today, but in order for me to actually get in here, I had to be like, hey, somebody call me.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Yeah, if it makes that happen, because I know Google's still being stupid, and sometimes making that happen, just tell me and I'm doing
Okay.
it. We
'Cause
post it all up on our Facebook site and everything else when we're going to do it, and it's basically sometime between 7:30 and 8 p.m. every Wednesday is when.
Well, I got the invite, but I'm also working from an iPad, so I don't know if it's like weird. Like when I click on something on my iPad, it goes to one thing then the other. Then like 5 things later, I'm watching it, so I have no idea.
I'm on my PC too, Matt, and I did the same thing. Hey, Chad, just send me invites when you guys are on. Just invite me, and thanks again, Chad, and thanks again, all you guys. I had a blast tonight. You
Yeah,
guys,
thank you all for joining us.
Thanks.